Welcome everyone to East Clinton High School for the tri-meet tonight with Miami Trace, Adena, and our own Astros. Of course, joining me to my left here is my partner in crime, Chuck Hale.
Evening, Bill. Looking forward to a couple good matches here tonight. Miami Trace, of course, a SCOL opponent, and Adena coming from the Chillicothe area. Adena, a relatively young wrestling program. They've had wrestling, I believe this is the third season, so
similar to our
very
program.
similar to East Clinton, right. So hopefully there'll be some good matchups tonight. Of course, Trace, a perennial power in the SCOL, and they bring a full lineup tonight, so hopefully we'll get a lot of good matches in, and it should be an exciting evening.
Yeah. I guess from what I've been gathering about Trace is they've got a pretty solid squad put together this year, and of course the East Clinton Astros are much improved, and things looked up Saturday in our dual meet going 3-2 there.
They sure did. That's right. And like you mentioned, Coach Anders from Miami Trace always has a good team ready to go, and like I said, I expect we'll have the same thing tonight. But again, East Clinton, has been a program on the rise and showing improvement every year. And like you said, a good showing at their home tournament last Saturday. So, yeah, we're looking forward to a good competitive tri-meet tonight.
Yeah, I think that I guess Adena we might call the X Factor. We don't know a lot about them. We're looking at the program here, and it appears that they've got 7 wrestlers wrestling tonight, so they'll be giving up half the weight classes.
That's right. And again, like we discussed last week, or for the fans that didn't listen last week, relatively, you're going to have that with relatively new programs. They're going to have a lot of holes in the lineup, and East Clinton has certainly, dealt with that over the past couple seasons. And unfortunately, you go into the matches already down a lot of points just based on forfeits, and so hopefully, Adena can try to overcome that a little bit tonight, and we'll see what happens.
You got to give Adena credit. Any program like that, when they don't have the numbers to come to a dual meet, because it can be a little bit demoralizing.
Sure can.
Seeing that score build up, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it.
That's right. All right, we're getting ready to bring the action here. We're starting in 113 tonight, and of course for the Astros, that'll be Anderson Van Nieuwenzy, and he's taking on Duffy from Miami Trace. Duffy is a returning state qualifier, if I'm correct.
Oh, very good.
A pretty tough wrestler. So Anderson, first-year wrestler, certainly going to have his hands full in this first match.
And Anderson's got better every week now, Chuck. At the tournament the other day, he almost was able to pull that off for us. And
that's right.
An exciting match. And, as I related at the tournament, he was just hoping to get through the first period there at the beginning of the year. Now he's taking people into the third, and he's getting much better every week.
That's right. Like you said, he is improving every week, and that's all you can ask out of a first-year wrestler. Duffy with a quick front headlock.
And he's
locks
got
it up
Anderson
into a cradle.
Trouble.
Yeah, Anderson's on his back, and Duffy makes short work of Anderson Van Nieuwenzy in the first match.
19 seconds there, Chuck. That's what state quality wrestlers do, Chuck.
That's exactly right. You're looking at, Anderson really, to his credit, was really, I'd say, outclassed in that match. You've got a kid in Duffy that's done a lot of things in wrestling and seen a lot of things, and Anderson, everything's a new experience for him. So,
see a little fire out of Anderson. He's upset, of course. Anybody would be after losing.
I'd hope so. That's right. And here at 120, we're going to have, looks like a forfeit. Dustin, I believe, from Miami Trace. So again, if that's not correct, we apologize, but we're just going off of what we have here. 126, Fox from Trace will also be receiving a forfeit.
Yeah. Use your pen. So it's it's interesting at this point. Like we talked about how these forfeits and that can make things look bad real quick.
That's right.
And hopefully we can get a few W's going here to stem that tide of some bad karma.
Hopefully. Here at 132, we've got Gage Morgan from East Clinton. He's going against Laytart from Miami Trace. Laytart is also a returning wrestler, but again, we don't have any record or information on him. But I do recognize that name. I know he was a wrestler for them last year, or at least someone with that name was. So, kind of aggressive start
really
here. He's
hammering the head real quick.
He really is. Hanging on the head, trying to snap that down, just like Duffy did. Switches off into a double.
Picks him up.
Nice job forcing the head
right
down.
Into reverse half.
Exactly. And back points looks like right away maybe. Nope, no backs given there, but a takedown.
Gage fended that off and was able to get out and get a point shot.
Nice job of getting back to his feet and getting the escape for one. So we're 2-1 right now. Again, Latard hanging heavy on the head.
Tried a little throw by there, but Gage was up to the task.
Yeah, Latard now with the underhook, trying to snap down there.
He's got the front headlock. Gage got to be careful they don't go to a cradle on this.
That's right. And Latard drops down to a single, comes through the back, see if he can come through. Gage locks him up but can't do anything. Latard, nice job coming through. See if he can get it. Gage is scrambling here.
And
they go ahead and award the takedown.
Gage bellies out. It's going to hopefully get this out. We'll get this back to 4-2 and have a shot with a takedown to tie this up.
That's right. You know, Latard had a hard time holding him down last time. Let's see if Gage can get another escape.
A little tilt.
Latard with a tilt, rolls him through. And again, not really a situation where Latard's trying to pin him there, but just trying to get back points.
Yeah.
And he gets the 3 back points. So we're now at 7-1 here. Again, Latard turns him again.
Arm bar and a half.
Yeah.
Or arm bar and a wrist, rather.
Arm bar and a wrist, and one big step over, and Latard is going to rack up some more points here.
Nice job by Gage. He fended that off pretty well, Chuck.
Yeah, he did. He got his head up and his chest up, and that really stopped Latard from stepping over and being able to have the leverage to finish that.
Absolutely.
Latard now is throwing the legs in here.
And he's trying to tilt him again.
Yeah, another tilt.
With a half.
And he ends up sticking him with that. Latard with the fall. So 1:54 into the first period. Morgan gets pinned. Latard with the fall. So next up here at 1:38, you've got Noah Morgan returning for the Astros. Noah missed some time with an injury, but he's back in the lineup tonight.
I'm really not sure who we're going to get for them.
Yeah, we've got 3 possibilities. Trace weighed in 3 wrestlers in this weight class, and again, we apologize. This is either Thad Johnson, looks like maybe Price or Burnside. And again, we apologize to that young man. We don't know who you are, but Morgan comes out aggressive, goes right after him. Of course, Noah, a freshman at East Clinton, came up through the started one of the first kids to start all the way through. Started in the Pee Wee program and came up through the junior high program. Now he's on his first year on the varsity.
And Noah had a promising start on the season, but came down with some ringworm and has missed the last few tournaments.
Yeah, unfortunately that held him out of the lineup, but he is back tonight. They're both wrestlers kind of sizing each other up. Oh, a nice ankle pick there to a takedown there. You know, again, he kind of caught Noah flat-footed there, maybe a little too high in his stance.
Trying to suck that arm on her.
Noah trying to work the head here, but he's got to break him down here if he really wants to do anything.
Yeah, Noah's got good base right here if he can do something with this.
Yes,
Chuck.
he does. You know, Noah's a very strong kid for a freshman.
He sure is. Sure is.
You know, he's able to hold his own out there against a lot of kids. But again, he's in a situation here where he's maintaining a good base, but he's got to get out from there.
And you wonder, missing the last couple weeks, Chuck, if he's not a little rusty coming back.
Well, not only that, but I'm sure, given the ringworm, he probably hasn't had a lot of mat time periods, so conditioning is probably down.
Exactly.
Everything else.
Noah's threatening to score here.
Yeah, he reached inside the leg there, almost like a standing switch, while he stood up, and
nice.
He does get the one. So, and then he goes after, kind of a half attempt at a shot there. Unfortunately, he's not ready. Trace wrestler with a nice double, but no takedown awarded.
Yeah, Noah's really got to keep his head up when he takes that shot.
Yes, he does. Yeah,
get himself in trouble not seeing his opponent.
That's right. No, he almost dove at it.
Yeah, sure did.
And again, you can see another attempt at the ankle pick. Now Trace with the underhook, again going for the ankle pick. Noah's kind of looking for that now, I think.
Yeah, I think Noah would probably be well advised to try to get out of that tie.
Yeah. And again, we're out of bounds.
Sprawl down.
So,
Noah, for our fans, when we talk about a sprawl, is when the wrestler who's in the position to be taken down, he shoots his hips back.
Right, and basically you want to get your feet and hips away from that wrestler so he can't grab your legs.
Right, and try to drive the other man's body down into the mat.
Exactly. So the end of one period, we've got 2-1 Miami Trace. One thing Morgan has to be careful of there, the Trace wrestler is really dictating the action to this point. If Morgan's not careful, he could get hit with stalling.
Exactly.
It looks like we had Morgan's choice, and he chose down there.
And as we talked about last week, that's always the scoring position for most people. If you can get out, you can score that point.
Exactly. So Trace off to the side now, not riding the hip.
He's working a crossface there pretty hard, but Noah's doing a nice job keeping his wrist free.
That's right. To his credit, he's keeping his wrist free and trying to keep his head up.
Now this is where Trace could get in trouble with that leg in. Commonly we see a lot of times they will get nailed with stalling.
Yeah, I would say the one thing to his benefit is, and again you can see it now, he's kind of slipping back behind, but if you can stay to one hip, you're going to help yourself out there. But again, it looks like he may be trying to get some leverage in there with him.
He's trying to get a grapevine, get both feet in there.
Yeah. Again, Noah fighting off the power half here. Of course, the power half a little different there, Coach. The offensive wrestler basically using his forearm as the lever there, and
cupping his hands together.
Exactly right. The referee, I guess, thought he was punishing him a little bit with it, so he stops him, gets potentially dangerous, and Trace gives Noah the escape. So we're back to 2-2 here.
Got a new match if we can put some offense together here, Chuck.
Exactly right. We got a minute to go in the second period. Score's tied up, so it's anybody's match at this point. But again, Trace with a nice job with the underhook to a slide by.
Yeah.
And there's another takedown.
Nice slide by. And
yeah, it really was. You know, one thing that we talked about last week, Coach, I want to mention that Noah's elbows look a little loose. He's given up that underhook a couple times already.
Yeah, we talked about inside position and giving that up. And
here's Trace with a cradle here, and you got back points counted right now.
He rolls through on that.
So he's going to get 3 out of that, so we should be at 7-2 now.
With about 30 seconds to go in the period, Noah needs to put something together here, get a switch.
Anything on the bottom here. So again.
Yeah, because going to the bottom is a great idea, but if you can't get out, Chuck, it doesn't help you.
That's exactly right. You know, it only helps if you can score. And it looks like we're going to end the period exactly as we started. And little flurry here at the end, but
kind of both of them were appearing to rest, although the Trace was trying to put an arm bar in, and it looked like he was getting ready to walk it around.
Yeah, he did, but just ran out of time there. And so Trace is going to go down here.
Good move, I would say there, Chuck.
Exactly, yeah, good decision. They're going to start up. Nice switch there.
Wow.
Morgan caught for locking hands there on the switch. And Trace gets the reversal plus the technical violation, so really a 3-point play there.
Yep, and it's looking tough here for Noah if he doesn't get some offensive moving going here, because sitting on the bottom is not going to win this match for him.
Yeah, you take quite a pounding down there, and again, to his credit, the Trace guy has put a lot of work in here on top.
He's got a bar and a wrist, and that seems to be a recipe for Trace.
Yes, it does. Common room, and nice job by Noah. Noah slips it.
Oh, and he nearly got the reversal, Chuck.
Yeah, nice job getting off his back, though.
Yeah. Showed some good flexibility in the shoulders.
Yes, he did. Slipped that wrist control and was able to roll through. And again, referee warning him, looking for action here. Yeah, Noah's not doing much on the bottom, and Trace is.
He's kind of cruising at 12-2 right now.
He is at this point. Now it looks like he's trying to get an arm bar or chicken wing here with Noah.
Yeah, I think he's content with just roughing him up a little bit and let Noah try to make a mistake that he can capitalize. It looks like a cradle there, Chuck.
Yeah, nice crossface there.
Yeah, and he's got Noah. Well, Noah's trying to kick it through and succeeds.
Yep, doesn't let him lock the hands up.
Half is in.
Yeah.
He's got it good and deep.
Yeah, and he even had the other leg over. He stepped it all the way over, comes back and trying to look for that chest-to-chest position.
It's a short time here.
Very short time.
And again, big for Noah to fend this off and not give up 6 points for us.
He's close to the out-of-bounds line, and you can see he's trying to work that way, but I don't think he's going to get there.
Got about 5 seconds to go, Chuck, and I think we're going to get through this.
He's going to hold him off, but it's going to be a major decision here, 15-2.
And, we talked a little bit about Noah being the freshman, has been out.
Right.
And it looked rusty right there, Chuck.
Yeah, he really did. And again, that's that's going to improve for Noah as the season goes on. So here at 145, we've got Cameron Block from East Clinton, and he is, again, we've got a multitude of Trace wrestlers here at 145.
Love it.
It's either love it, literal, or more. And again, we apologize to any Trace fans, and especially to that young man, but we can only go with what they give us. So.
That's right. And Cameron Block evened his record out at the Saturday tournament.
Yeah, he had a good tournament Saturday. He picked up a few wins, like you said, and made a good showing.
And as we talked about, he's a little bit of a funk wrestler, which means he's non-traditional.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He does things that I'm sure make the coaches scratch their heads sometimes, but
how he gets into it and how he gets out.
And how he gets out. That's the key. That's right. Trace hanging on, trying to get some wrist control here with the setup. Block a little high in his stance.
Yep. And he's a big target as he is.
Yeah, he is. He's a tall,
guy.
Lanky wrestler. That's right. And
he's got a single.
Yeah, he's hanging on that
around
single.
The corner.
See if he can turn the corner. He does. He's over it. No. Nice move. Very nice by Trace. Yeah, that was an aggressive move. A nice job.
Yeah, that Cameron just missed a great opportunity for the takedown.
Yes, he did. Let's see if he can work another one here.
Got a front. He's trying to get a front headlock.
Yeah, Trace with
ankle.
Nice
pick.
Job. Kind of a Russian collar tie to a pick there.
Yep.
And nice job. I shouldn't say it. Nice
Looks
job.
like the Trace wrestlers are big with the picks, and they want to get that leg in as soon as they get them on the mat.
Yeah, they do. You can tell they've worked on that in their room quite a bit. Again, blocked here with his head down. Now up a little bit, trying to get wrist control here.
Yeah, they really need to work up here so that Cameron can get into a scoring position, as we talked about with Noah.
Yeah, that's right. And it sounds simple enough, but one way to avoid all the tilts and the leg rides is to not be on the mat.
Yep.
And unfortunately, we spent the majority of the time on the mat so far.
Yep. And hopefully see Cameron get something together here and put a little offense up and get on the board. 2-0 for those new to wrestling is a small margin and can easily be overcome with a little bit of aggressiveness.
That's exactly right. So that's our score for the end of 1, 2-0 Trace. And looks like Trace.
Yeah, there's a little confusion. And
yeah,
Trace,
we're not sure whose choice it is, I guess.
Looks like
Trace's choice. Yeah, they choose down, Coach.
Okay. He's looking to score here, go up 3-0, and then opens up his options.
Right, so Block, again, will be looking to turn him and get some back points.
Oh, nice reverse.
Nice, yeah, very nice. I guess a standing switch, really. The best thing to call it.
Yes.
With no wrist control, but again, if Block really didn't force it, so he didn't really need the wrist control.
And almost got caught in a suck back position.
Yes, he did.
Looking for a half and a wrist, but Cameron's doing a pretty good job fighting off the wrist control, and that'll keep him alive there.
Yeah, that's for sure. And again, that's a major component to a lot of these tilts and things that we're seeing out of the Trace wrestlers is you cannot give up wrist control.
He's looking for a stack there, Chuck. He's trying to pull the arm through the crotch and
yes,
jam
he was
the head
the old ball and chain.
Yep.
And again, like we talked about a lot last week, you keep your head off the mat, that doesn't happen. Again, Trace with the one leg in. Now out.
Cameron doesn't look nearly as active as he was this week. Oh,
yep,
nice
Granby there. Yeah.
And he he
gets an escape out of it. That's right. So 4-1. See if Block can get some offense going here with just under a minute to go in the second period.
Yeah, if Cameron can get into close this up and get a takedown, we're going to have a good ball game.
That's for sure. Kind of a slap at the ankle. I wouldn't really call it an attempt at Trace, more of a setup.
It's kind of sending out a warning shot.
That's
there.
right. Say, hey, be on the lookout. So
if you step forward too much, I'm going to take you down.
Exactly. A little ear to ear. They go down to the mat, but they're back on their feet.
The Cameron is trying to keep the outside or inside position, rather, work his elbows in, and just kind of a blind shot there.
You stole the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say. No setup to a blind shot. And, sometimes you're going to get the element of surprise, but more often than not, especially against a better wrestler, they're going to see that coming.
Yeah, they're going to make you pay for that
exactly.
9 times out of 10.
And Trace does and turns that into his own takedown. So we've got 6-1 in the second. It's going to be Block's choice. And, again, down 6-1, there's really not much of a choice other than to go down.
Looks like they're going to go neutral, though.
Yep, Trace gave him the escape, so.
Yep.
That'll bring it to 6. Sorry, yeah, 6-2.
And so, you know, the kid must be pretty confident here he can take him down, Chuck, because
well, I think not only that, but Block really hasn't threatened him on his feet either.
No,
so
not at all.
At this point, he probably doesn't
feel threatened.
Exactly. Not very concerned about Block's feet attack. And, you know, not showing much different here. You got pounding for inside, trying to pummel in, get the nice high crotch.
To a double.
Nice job there. That was a very nice takedown by Miami Trace.
Yeah. Cameron, he's looking for a stack on Cameron again, and he's got that wrist. He's got to free that, Chuck, or else he's going to be giving up some back points.
Exactly. Yep, like we talked about, wrist control is a deadly situation for that bottom man, but
he's got a
turned it
Peterson
into
cradle.
a Peterson.
He's pinned.
He is. That's a fall.
Oh, my goodness.
That is a fall.
That's a reverse, guys. I'm letting my excitement get away from me, Chuck.
No, not at all, Coach. That was a great reverse.
This is a great turnaround for Cameron. If Cameron, that's a long time. He can tighten up that Peterson.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to second-guess the call, but he did look pinned to me, Coach.
And that's something that I think, Chuck, that officials are slow to call the defensive pin.
Well, you're exactly right. On a quick reversal like that, yeah, you want to give the benefit to the man that was in control.
Yeah, it's such a controversial thing when they call that.
That's right.
A lot of tomatoes and lettuce come flying out of the stands.
Yeah,
on that.
and again, you know, I guess one thing that kind of demonstrates that is he was awful slow to call the reversal even on that.
Yes, yeah, he wasn't quite sure.
He wanted to make absolutely sure that Block was in control.
Now we would. So it's 9-7.
But again, that's right. With the back points and now with the reversal, we're to 9-7. With just under
Trace just
40
took him down
seconds,
for another.
and that's going to make it 11-7. So, you know, but again, Block showed you right there with that 5-point play just how quick things can change, and especially with a wrestler that wrestles a quote-unquote funk style like we talked about with Cameron.
Yeah.
That you know, he's never really out of any match.
Yeah,
3 points here. He needs a big play here though to.
Tries a standing gator roll.
Yeah, he went for
just couldn't.
Went for a pretty ill-advised throw there, I would say, and you know, kind of a funk thing, I think, and.
On that kind of move, Chuck, you really got to make sure you got that head.
Yeah, you really do. That's right. And you know, to his credit, I think that was the thing where Cameron knew the score, knew the situation, and he needed a big play, and that was all he had at that point. So, you know, gave up the takedown out of it, but again, at that point,
ended up being a pretty good match.
That's right, and ended up, you know, and it was only a decision. It could have been a major decision at one point, and Cameron did a nice job fighting back.
Yeah,
so,
he did.
152, we've got Charlie Erdman, Chuck Erdman from East Clinton. He's taking on
Berman?
Berman or Bauman?
Yeah, I can't tell.
Yeah, we're trying to interpret someone's writing here.
Again, we apologize to the Trace fans.
To Trace and that young man.
Sometimes we get them, Chuck, and sometimes we don't. We get sketchy information in these matches sometimes, and the more information we get, we'll pass it on to you guys.
We're more than happy to pass it on. That's right. So, again, 152 here. And again, nice high crotched, and
Chuck got on that head. And
yeah, he did. And
boy,
again,
he just can't hang on that head.
Aggressive action here out of Trace. That's right. Now Charles locked around the leg. He needs to be inside the leg, not outside.
Yeah. But I think he saw Cameron with that Peterson and is thinking, I might get a little piece of this action too.
That's quite possible. So
except you got to do it the right way.
Yeah, that's right. They go out of bounds, so Erdman will start down here. And sits out, but again, he can't get there and stop.
Nice attempt on the switch. And you just got to keep on moving in this situation.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you really want to make that bottom man work to hold you down. Trace with the leg, and now he's got the arm bar. Trying to turn this into a tilt. Let's see if he can get it. Charles discredit. Nice job keeping his chest up. That's going to bring him getting turned.
Watch that shoulder there.
Yeah.
That's one of the things with a crossbody ride is puts the shoulder in a tough situation.
Yes, it does. You know, and what we mean when we say crossbody ride, if you notice, he had the leg hooked, but then went for the shoulder on the opposite side of his body from where he had the leg. So, again, a lot of torsion and twists and whatever else you want to call it there, but not a comfortable situation to be in.
No, not at all. And he's got to watch the suck back here.
And again, like we talked about, you know, sit out is nice, but you can't stop there.
No.
And like you said, very susceptible to being sucked back or basically just pulled back from your butt onto your back. Again, putting the head down.
Berman's
possible
got a
stack
good half
here.
in there. And
Nice job turning him.
Chuck's got 27 seconds to fight this off. And, I don't know. Can he get through it?
That's a good question. Bauman's got good chest pressure. He's got, and there's the fall. So 1:43 into the first period. Another fall by Miami Trace.
Well, we move on to 160, which will be a forfeit for groom. Zach Hrabak is still out with an injury, and we hope to have Zach back here in the next couple weeks, but we're not quite sure where he's at right now.
Right.
And so we've got a 6 there and a 6 there.
Grooms with a forfeit here at 160. 170, unfortunately, would be Morgan Toll for East Clinton, but Morgan was injured last night in practice, so unfortunately he won't be wrestling tonight. So we're going to have a forfeit at 170 as well. Either going to be Miller or Finner getting their hand raised here.
And Klein.
Yeah, unfortunately, 182. East Clinton with another hole in the lineup here. Cameron Klein out of the lineup tonight.
That's a tough way to, when you give up 160, 170, 182.
Oh, that's right.
It's 18 points right there, and it's hard for any team to overcome that.
That's right.
Okay, we got Nate Morgan now for the Astros.
At 195, Nate Morgan and Jones from Miami Trace.
And let's see how this goes for Nate. Nate got a W there in the tournament this weekend.
Yes, he did. He's hunting for another one, I'm sure. And Jones with a nice underhook there, right to the mat,
right to the back.
Really caught Nate, I think, before he was ready.
Yeah, I don't think. I think you hit that one right on the head.
He was,
Chuck.
caught him leaning or something. I'm not sure, but he went down pretty quick. So
yeah. And now he's going to have to fight.
Yeah. Like we talked about last week, Coach, when these bigger guys go to their backs, it can be awful tough. And
yeah,
Nate was in a situation there where he would have been on his back for 1 minute and 40 seconds possibly. So.
Yeah, and that's hard to ask anybody to get through that.
Exactly. So here at 220, we've got Peyton Vest. Peyton had been wrestling heavyweight, but with Josh Roberts out of the lineup, Peyton gets to drop down to his natural weight class of 220.
Yeah.
And he'll be going up against either Avea or Murphy. And again, we apologize. We don't know which one this is, but we know it's one of you according to your lineup. So
Peyton told me during gym class today, Chuck, he was 2 ounces or 0.2 of a pound over, and did some running this afternoon and got himself down to 220.
He must have worked hard in gym class. So Trace with a snap down to a takedown here, and again Peyton trying to base up, and nice job by Trace to break him down back to the mat. And well, I'll tell you usually don't see bigger guys throw the legs, but
no,
Trace trying to throw the leg in there. And
yep. And it seems to be a trademark of all their wrestlers.
Yes, it really does. Like we talked about, I'm sure they're hitting that in the room every day. And again, power half here. He jumps it, jumps sides. He's out in front. Not the perfect position, but
Peyton, again, when you get rolled over with about 1.5 minutes to go, it's hard to stay in that position for 1 minute and 30, 1 minute and 20
That's exactly
seconds.
right. So 285 here. Morris will be getting a forfeit for Miami Trace.
And normally we would have Josh Roberts there. Josh is not here tonight, so we move to our last match for this meet, or for this particular match, so to speak.
We have Josh Jones from East Clinton, and he's wrestling Cheney from Miami Trace.
It's nice to see Josh get a match.
Yeah, Josh had one of those unfortunate situations where out of the 5 matches last week, he was the only 106-pounder at the tournament. So
right. He was undefeated.
Went 5-0, got his hand raised 5 times.
That's right.
But I know Josh would much rather wrestle than just get his hand raised. So
it doesn't get better just getting the hand raised.
Exactly. So again, here at 106, which again is the lightest weight class in Ohio. Got both men on their feet, kind of feeling each other out.
And through the years, we've seen this weight class go up and down and been changed many times.
Oh, certainly, yeah. It was, I believe, 98 pounds at one time.
Yeah, back when the dinosaurs were roaming, it was still 98 pounds.
103 in my day when the dinosaurs were just extinct, I guess that is. And, of course, a couple years ago, they moved it to 106. So,
Josh,
Josh with a front headlock.
almost to a cradle.
Yeah, good work. And, you know,
Josh
one thing I'll say
aggressive.
for Josh, I love the fact he was the first guy back to the center there.
Yeah.
Ran back, got on the line, and, you know, those kind of things, that's a mental thing, but those things pay off in the third period.
Yeah, especially demoralizing in the third period when you do that.
Yes,
good
it was.
Good sprawl, but
Yeah.
he's still there, Chuck.
Wow, nice
He's
job
hanging
fighting
on.
this off. I didn't think he would. Trace, to their credit, that was a nice setup and a nice deep shot, and Josh fought that off well.
He got a good whizzer and a sprawl in there, and he was able to fend that off.
Yes, he did.
Got the front headlock.
Front headlock again, that's right. See if he can snap him back down to his knees as well.
Now if he can bury it, just get around the corner.
Yeah, unfortunately, you've got to have him down on the mat as well to run that.
Yeah,
it's awful hard to finish
You
that
just
from the
can't get
feet.
your hips that close like that.
Exactly.
And allow the man to take advantage of what your offensive move is.
Well, and you saw it there. Trace just about turned that into a double leg going the other way.
Did.
So
Sure did. Josh got to maintain inside position or he's going to get himself taken down.
Yeah.
Though he tied those elbows up well on that.
Yeah, he's done a nice job defending the shots this match.
Yeah.
I'll give him credit.
Looked like the Trace wrestler was trying to set up the
Josh
ankle
now on
pick.
the single leg. See if he can get over that
Got
ankle.
around now if he can slip it through.
That's right. If he can pop his head out, he'll have a Boy, nice recovery by the Trace wrestler there to turn that into what could have been a stack there.
Yep.
But as it turns out, they're on the edge and there were no points awarded. So we're back on our feet here. 20 seconds left during the first period. No score yet.
Josh has made some good rallies here and some good scoring attempts. And if he keeps this up now, the knee's right there. Chuck, he's got to take
he just
advantage
needs to
of
reach
that.
and grab that knee. That's right.
Yeah.
Or even the ankle pick or the far knee. You have a lot of options there.
If he could get a little snap down, get him off his base, that would help him too. There we go.
But nice job by Trace to get right back on his feet.
Yeah, I agree.
That shows a smart wrestler there. So that's the end of the first, and we've got no score.
We got a match here, Chuck.
We sure do.
This is what we hope for the Astro fans to come out and see this type of wrestling because this is what it's all about.
Exactly. Trace chooses down there, and we start. And Josh looks like he's going for a butcher. Let's see if he can walk it around.
He's winding it in.
He needs to take a few steps.
The elbow on it.
Yeah, he's only got one arm, and now he has none. So
now he's going to have to fend off the double leg attack. And
looks like this could be. See if the referee awards an escape here, and he didn't. So Josh will still be in control here.
Josh has done a nice job on the edges of the mat and keeping himself out of harm's way.
Yes, he has.
Wow.
Josh showing some strength there, and well, unfortunately, that's locking hands. Yeah, and you're going to get that a lot when you lift your opponent back off the mat like that.
Yeah. Really, the only way you can do that pretty safely is got to come up through the crotch and grab a wrist. And
exactly.
And anytime your arms are wrapped around them, there's potential for that 1-point penalty.
That's right. And like we talked about before, you get a reaction time, but it's a very split second.
Now he's trying to look for a tilt. He's trying to get the elbow and the wrist.
Yeah, I think he's trying to set up that butcher again, Coach. And
you think so?
Yeah, I do. And Trace did a nice job there putting that outside leg up to defend it. This time Josh listening, but let's go.
I think the important thing here that I haven't seen earlier in the year is Josh is showing a certain amount of physicality.
Yeah, exactly. He's, to his credit, he did a nice job riding there, but Trace does turn and get the escape and turns it into a takedown.
A nice double. Caught Josh a little bit with his head down after he had escaped.
Yep. And so with the penalty point now, that makes it 4-0 here. We're under a minute to go in the second period.
And Josh could really help his cause to get this escape or a reversal here.
Right. He definitely doesn't want to give up any back points here. And
no.
Trace going hard here. Looks like he's got wrist control, maybe going for an arm bar.
Yep. That's and
Josh stand up. Let's see if he can get one here. Oh. Nice job by Trace.
Hard
tripping.
return to the mat.
Yeah, returning right to the mat. Face first.
Yes. Got a little face plant there, but Josh got the arm tied up there. But
let's see if he can fight this off.
He's trying to throw that half in, working that half from both sides, Chuck. That's what you like to see in wrestlers is the jump over halves and that.
Yeah, that's right. Jumping sides is a good skill to have there. And again, you can see Josh, though to his credit, did a nice job fighting off both sides.
Yes, he did.
One thing he needs to be careful of there, though, is not to ball up and get hit for stalling on the bottom.
Right.
So here at the start of the third, Jones will be down. And Jones with a stand-up right on the whistle. Trace returns into the mat with a trip.
Yep, and
again, going for the arm bar, and he's just about got it in there, Bill.
Yeah, he does. And I can't see the other side. I'm assuming they've been going arm bar and wrist all night.
Yeah,
so
they have. And
it looks like it's the same type of thing, or a half and a wrist.
Right.
Very fundamental wrestling, but very effective wrestling.
Exactly. So let's see if Josh can get out of this. Josh, Trace wrestler has wrist control, but Josh is trying to lock that arm up. But really, should just let that go. He's not going to be able to do much with that at this point.
Right. Josh just needs to try to get a little rally here, and
again, only. And now he's giving up back points, and unfortunately, he gets the fall. So.
Yeah. Josh fought a gallant match. He was right in there until just a couple bad events there in that second period, and really put him in a bad way as far as being up in the match.
Yeah, but again, like you said, I think that was a great effort for Josh.
Yes,
he wrestled very physically.
Yep.
And did a nice job maintaining pressure a lot of the time. Had his hips close. Didn't give up a lot of, I would say, frivolous points or anything like that. So
yeah,
that's going to bring this first match to an end. And calculating the team scores here.
40, 43.
And while we're doing that, I want to take a second here and remind our listeners and give a big thanks out to Charlie's Pizza. For those of you in the Sabina or East Clinton area, stop on in at Charlie's and give their pizza a shot if you haven't tried it. It's very good. And also, they will be hosting our new East Clinton Sports Show on Wednesday evenings. Is that correct? Thursday evenings,
next Thursday evening.
Starts next week at 7 o'clock, is that right?
7 o'clock, yeah. 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
And it'll be the East Clinton Sports Show put on by the East Clinton Network, which we're in partnership with gtvr.net. And we're excited about the opportunities that are going to be presented to school and the exposure for our students and athletes.
That's right. It gives our young people a great opportunity to be seen and lets people be able to see them from all over the world.
Yeah, I guess last night the basketball game was on, and we had some great response about the quality and the excitement that it promoted with our fans. We had a lot of people sitting up in the bleachers watching it on their iPads and commenting, interacting with the station as the game was going on. So it was a real neat effort, and we're looking forward to the possibilities of where that can go. And Rick, would you like to add to that as far as some of the things we're going to with the GTVR?
Well, one of the great things is that in the second quarter of this year, would be April, May, June, we're going to be on Roku, which is the digital device that connects to most people's TV sets, allows them to stream, YouTube, and it makes their television a smart television. We'll have an app on Roku, and it's in 3 million homes currently. That'll give us the ability not just to broadcast to our website, but also to broadcast through this Roku device on television sets across the country. And that's a very exciting prospect because now people will be able to watch it on their home digital television, in all the HD quality.
Yeah, I didn't know about Roku until a little while back. I spoke with you and Lee about it, and the understanding was, you go into Walmart or wherever you shop for electronics, you see the TVs that are Wi-Fi ready, they're internet ready, and I guess that's the wave of the future is network television and cable, and maybe to some extent satellite might be taking a back seat to the internet.
Well, and I think that is the way that it's headed. Obviously, I'm not suggesting that there won't be over-the-air television or radio. There'll always be that, more than likely. But most everything is gravitating towards going through the internet connection to your home. The Roku box itself is Wi-Fi enabled, and so it can take the Wi-Fi signal and be able to connect to, like I said, YouTube, to Redbox, to any of these services that have movies or television programs like Hulu Plus. And we'll just be another channel on that device. There's probably 200 of them right now, and we'll be able to have all our programming, all our channels that we have here on GTVR be able to be streamed through that app that's on that Roku device. And we can do streaming. We can also have our archives there as well. So anything you see on our website, you'll be able to see on our Roku channel. The difference being obviously that whatever size you have as far as HD TV, you'll be able to see it right there on that HD TV.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting stuff. I know a lot of people that have it have been talking to me about the different things they can do, and what is it, Me TV or something like that? That's out of Cincinnati.
Yeah, Me TV is a local over the air. That's I think probably channel 5.2. That's their digital channel. And some of the programming that we're going to be presenting in the future will be those types of television programs. There's a vast array of even no longer copyrighted. They've gone beyond their copyright existence of old movies. We're going to be having what we call retro TV, where literally you'll be able to go on, you'll be able to watch these old cowboy movies and all these old programs, most of them in black and white, but there are some in color. Even the commercials we're going to be having on there will be the old commercials.
Very good. So I'll be able to watch my old sci-fi movies from Saturday night when I was a kid and stayed up late and watch Frankenstein Meets the Werewolf or something like that.
Yeah, the old Shock Theater on Friday nights with the I think in this area it was probably the Rinks brothers, the old Rinks department stores, and they used to sponsor that, and they had the Rinks boys on there, and I can remember on Friday nights being up late at night, terrified from the Shock Theater.
Yeah, good times. That's when kids were kids still, and we weren't on playing PlayStation 24/7 on that.
Well, and that's the good thing about what we're doing here. Obviously, we're giving more exposure to recreation and to athletics and to other endeavors here at East Clinton that are not just some kid wasting away in front of a game console. They're out there. They're getting activity. They're keeping their weight down through participation, and really, whether they're in the band or whether they're actually out on the floor, we're giving kids the opportunity to be seen, and where they wouldn't locally be in a small community like Lee's Creek or Sabina or even Wilmington. We have no television stations obviously in the county. This gives us television where we don't have it.
Yeah, and I think that's the great niche here. I think the excitement the other day when you guys did the tournament was it wasn't just a radio broadcast. You could see, if you lived in Tennessee and you wanted to see your grandson wrestle, you could just get on the internet and you had the ability to do that.
I think after the meet was over, we had a woman that was sitting in the stands, and her son was wrestling for East Clinton. Didn't catch the name, but apparently the girlfriend was not at the meet, but she let him know that she was watching him on television, and he better win, and he did. So there you go. A little pressure there.
Yeah, I believe one of our secretaries here at the school, her grandson plays for the basketball team, and as you guys did the game the other night, and I'm not sure if it was his aunt or grandmother, I apologize for not knowing this information, but she lives in Myrtle Beach, and she had never seen him play basketball, and I believe the other night was the first time she had an opportunity to do that. Well,
and the great thing about it is, like our two announcers tonight, we had two quality announcers doing that basketball game, so the good thing about what we're doing here and the way we're doing it is that we're actually involving coaches. Had a principal last night, the East Clinton principal did the broadcast, the actual play-by-play. So the people that we're bringing in, they're knowledgeable, and really, as I've told all of you, you've got a life after the jobs that you currently hold, right?
Well, we like to believe that. I guess all the NFL and NBA guys think that, so why shouldn't school teachers, right, Chuck?
That's right. That's a nice thought. That's for sure. Nice thought.
I think there's been a lot of excitement and about the possibilities of where this can go. And Rick, you want to speak to the fact that I think just in the last week there's been interest by some other schools possibly getting on board with you guys.
We met with the people in the know at Wilmington High School today. We're hoping that they come on board. It'll probably be in the fall. One of the good things is maybe good and bad things is that East Clinton, obviously being the first channel that we've put up that's independent, that has their own channel, it gives us the opportunity to do a lot of testing. Obviously, we're going to be expanding the number of cameras we use. We've got a video switcher so that we can do overlays, we can do instant replay. There's a lot of things that we'll be little by little, bringing into the programming, and all of this right now is sort of we're testing in that sense, and we're doing a pretty good job even with what we're doing. But by the time we really start bringing on several other schools, hopefully with a lot of the groundwork that we've laid here at East Clinton, we'll have a lot of this even more polished. And we've done a lot, even since, as you know, Bill, since our our radio broadcast with the Massey football playoffs, which was strictly radio, and part of that was simply because we couldn't do live TV. The Ohio High School Athletic Association doesn't allow that on a Friday night game. But ultimately, by adding the video with the audio, it expands it by 100 times the value to the public out there. And obviously with Charlie's Place, we're involving local business, and we will be bringing other businesses on board so that they are working in the community and bringing these shows to us, bringing these channels, sponsoring these channels. And then you've got additionally the community being that much more active with their school system and supporting it that much more. We can bring them information, everything from, when we're trying to get levies passed, to other information so that they're more knowledgeable of what's going on here at East Clinton, and thus they'll be more knowledgeable as far as in their support of the school.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point about being a testing program. As ESPN grew up, we're talking 33 years ago. It's hard to believe is when ESPN started, but I remember Chris Berman sitting into what basically looked like a broom closet, and they had one bathroom there, and they were showing Division III hockey, and but that's how they started, and they grew it into what it is today. So we're hoping that we can be part of something great like that.
And I think that as you've attested, just like with the local Tea Party, there will be other things that we actually will be bringing to people, and we're going to present both sides. We're not slanted one way or the other, nor are we in our general broadcast slanted for a particular school or another. Now, obviously, East Clinton is our favorite on the East Clinton channel, and anyone they play or they are against, we're going to be rooting for East Clinton.
Exactly. We've got the Adena and
this is Adena and Miami Trace, Coach.
And we're going to bring you some bonus coverage here. We're going to make our way through this the best we can with that Adena Miami Trace match. And Chuck, do you know where we picked this up at?
No, I don't, but I am going to go on a limb and guess that this is 120.
Nick Peacher.
It would be Nick Peacher from Adena versus Dustin or Gustin or... Sorry again to that young man, but again, trying to read someone's writing here.
Yeah.
And Adena on top here with a nice armbar or chicken wing there.
He had tied up the wrist pretty well.
Yes, he did.
Can't lay there too long, though, Chuck. He's going to get busted.
Yeah, he's all over the hip, isn't he? And again, like we mentioned before, that's a bad position to be in as far as the stalling
almost
goes.
Got that half. And uses nice head and his shoulder, and that's painful. Good shoulder.
It really is.
Good shoulder pressure there, Chuck. And
yes, there is, and it's got to watch that arm. He can't take that elbow past 45 degrees, and he doesn't. So, referee lets it continue.
And for 120
90
pounds,
degrees,
the
excuse me,
Adena
not
kid is
45
extremely
degrees.
tall.
Yes, he is. And that's one thing we've mentioned before. Wrestling takes a lot of different body types.
Little step through there, and kept those legs split, and there's nothing that Gustin could do on that.
No, but again, like we mentioned, there a lot of hanging out on the hips here for the Adena wrestler, and there's the call, stalling against
And we
Adena.
saw that coming 15 seconds ago that he was going to get hit with that.
We really did.
For
I'm
those
sure
that don't know
did
wrestling, the man on top has to show clear offensive progression and trying to move towards a pin. A lot of times you'll hear us talk about they'll kick him out, and that's just because the man on top can't turn him over and pin him.
Right. And nice arm bar there, big step over, and runs out of time. And, Bill, that's one difference that if viewers are familiar with college wrestling and not necessarily high school, in college, that would be acceptable. That would be, riding time.
Right.
But, again, in Ohio, the shift has really been to focus on scoring and especially offensive scoring.
Yeah,
right. So, in Ohio, especially compared to even other states, the referees are really big on action.
Yeah.
They want action out of that top man.
I think it was 1972, Ohio got rid of riding time in high school, and we moved on to a better brand of wrestling, I think.
Right. And again here, Adena all over him.
He's got that wrist, and he's got this tight. Like a butcher, he's got the arm.
Yeah, and again, look at that there. He's going to step through and.
Yeah.
And Trace, he grabs the leg there, but I'm not sure that's really benefiting him at all.
Adena kid's a little bit too far over, a little more than you'd like.
But again, he's okay, and he shifts there and gets his 3 back points, and so
comfortable 7-0 lead early in the second period.
Yeah, it's 7-0, but it feels a lot more than that. We haven't had a lot of action out of Miami Trace in this match, and he really hasn't had the opportunity.
Yeah.
To his credit, Adena has done a nice job maintaining control.
A lot of it in wrestling is about grip strength and being able to control the hands, and this kid appears to have some really good grip.
Yeah, that's right.
Peacher's trying to slide an arm bar in there.
And again, got wrist control there. Trace can't seem to get it free.
I think Gustin is just kind of...
I'm not sure he's got to get his head off the mat.
Yeah.
And there we go again. Adena hanging on the hip, gets hit for stalling, so that's 1 point. So it's now 7-1.
He's got to watch this, Chuck. He could lose this.
Yeah, he's going to have to decide what he wants to do here. He could kick him, or he's got to come off the hip, though, one way or the other.
What would you do in this situation, Chuck?
38 seconds, I would think I would kick him and try to take him down again.
I agree with you.
That's almost a minute to go.
And really, it's you've given up the penalty point. You kick him out, you take him down. It's a 2 for 2, so you're really no further.
That's right, and you know what?
Don't get behind.
He's got to be careful. I hate to say it again, Coach, but he is still all over the hip.
And I think the next one is we'll go to a 2-pointer, and then the third.
Then it will be a DQ.
Will be disqualification.
Yeah.
He really wants that arm bar, but that Trace kid is defending it well.
Yeah, that's right. To his credit, he's not giving it up, and. When that happens, when you're the offensive wrestler, you've got to have something else in your bag of tricks to go to.
Yeah. I really think the Adena kid is going to have to be real wise here. And I don't know that would maybe I would have taken down just because that kid had been stalling.
Yeah, that's true, and try to force that stalling call out of Adena.
Exactly. Make him wrestle.
That's right. And, and that's the thing. Adena, that was a very nice takedown right to a half.
Deep. If he can pick that leg up,
Chuck. He's going to try to finish it here.
He reversed it. And he got a little too far over and let it.
Yeah, he doesn't have good chest pressure.
No,
he's out on top. He's got to get this teed up.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's going to chase him.
If the Trace kid can get his hips down, he may have a chance to survive this.
This could turn into a pretty painful stack here, Bill.
Yeah, I think so, too. If he gets that arm stretched out, Chuck.
Yeah, maybe just hip into him a little bit and hip him over.
Yep, I agree.
And he's able to pin him out of it. So... a good display by the Adena wrestler. Looked very relaxed and in control the whole match.
Nick Peacher was ahead 9-1 and drops his man at the 4-minute and 37 mark of the third period. Okay,
so here we have looks like 126. We're going to have Fox getting a forfeit again, and 132. We're going to have Latart and Grigsby. Latart from Trace, Grigsby.
And I don't know anything about Grigsby. Latart was a pretty impressive wrestler when we saw him the last time.
Yes, he was. So, but again, here we have Latart and Grigsby from Adena at 132.
It looks like Latart.
No, I take that back, Coach. Latart is not wrestling 132.
Nope. And well, it looks like what they're doing here is they're
moving their lineup around, probably getting a few guys in, Coach. And again, like we mentioned, Adena or Miami Trace, did weigh in 3 guys at 138. So,
and I think we're jumping up to 160
they've got
here.
some room to move. So, 160 would be Grooms from Trace against Mikey Crispin of Adena.
Yeah. And Grooms was an outstanding linebacker for Trace this year. And,
really?
Yeah, he was. He gave us fits as we, with our primary throwing attack. He put a lot of pressure on Dalton Floyd.
Right. So Grigsby backs away,
but
Grooms backed away from the line, but Crispin
almost caught him in the head and arm, and then
boy, to his credit though, Grooms stays under control, and
Grooms
turns that
rather nicely.
Turned and flipped him with a little head and arm, and
yeah, this is a power on power kind of match here, Chuck.
I would say so for sure. 2 strong 160s and 3 near fall points awarded to Grooms.
Yeah, and Grooms look like he's trying to stack them. Seems to be another thing that Trace likes to do is battle that head down into the mat and stack them up on their shoulders.
Yeah, that's true. And I'll tell you, that's really a good strategy, though. If you're going to wrestle teams that are going to continue to put their heads on the mat, make them pay for it. And Trace has done that all night.
Yeah. No good things can come out of that.
That's exactly right.
And after a real fast start, we kind of slowed down, although Grooms has got a good half in.
Yep, he
picked
does.
Up the far arm and
again, he's got to chest to chest and elevate the head and fight that, not let him bridge.
Get that reverse half in a little tighter. I think he's got him a bad way here, Chuck.
Yeah, he's pretty tight. We're going to get 3 near fall, if not a fall, out of this, Coach.
Yeah, I believe.
And there's the fall. So, Coach, while we've got a second, you mentioned that Grooms is a pretty superior linebacker. Can you talk a little bit about the connections between football and wrestling, and what it should be?
Well, I think what you see is the basic double leg takedown in wrestling is very similar to a tackling position in football.
Sure, exactly.
And I've always felt that in football, if you have kids that have been taught football, proper technique and stance, and then you have a kid that's also wrestled on top of that, they usually make outstanding defensive football players, and Grooms was no exception to that rule.
Right. And, a lot of the things we mentioned here, having good hips and knowing about leverage and hand fighting and all the things we talk about, those are all things that go in with being a great football player too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, and internal aggressiveness that comes with the wrestling and self-discipline from the weight loss. I mean, they go hand in hand very well.
Right. Okay, so here at 170, we're going to have, again, either Miller or Finner against Kyle Dyke from Adena. So Trace in on the single leg there, and a nice aggression there.
Yeah. And right away they're looking to tie up the wrist and work an arm bar.
And he's going to kick him. So we're 2-1, back on our feet.
Yeah.
And again, kind of an unconventional stance. They're going down to one knee. And again, all about changing levels there, like we talked about before.
Yeah. And
boy, nice job there turning that in. Went for the high crotch, wasn't there, but just was able to slide through and really just dump him off there for another takedown.
Yeah, and he just kicks him out. And again, if you get a good takedown wrestler, this is not something uncommon that you'll see in matches where they may take him down 3 or 4 times, 5 times, and accumulate a lead looking for a flaw in the game of their opponent, and they take advantage of it.
Exactly.
Several years ago, when Monroeville had their run of 4-time state champs, the Phillips kid at 171 was phenomenal on taking people down and kicking them out.
Yes, he was. I got a chance to watch Chris wrestle a couple times, and he was a 171-pounder that wrestled more like a 25-pounder.
Yes.
He was very light on his feet and
moved very fluidly.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the young man didn't continue on to college because I think he would have been a definite NCAA champion.
I agree. He went to NC State, and unfortunately things didn't work out down there. And
gave it a shot with the Buckeyes for a short period, and that's the last we heard of him.
Yeah, I don't know whatever happened there. I know he never made the lineup at Ohio State, unfortunately. And
right.
Really hard telling, but again,
crossbody ride, and he's got it in tight across the neck.
Yeah, and again, either Miller or Finner. We're not sure which guy this is from Trace, but very dominant performance here. 3 more back points awarded there, and it's going to be 9-2 here going into the second period.
Yeah, and then we could be.
It could be a lot worse than that.
Yeah, we could be staring a tech fall here.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Right in the face.
Yep. So we're going to go neutral here to start the second. Again, 9-2 Trace.
And Dyke, he's got to put something together, Chuck, because
he really does.
And you can't be staying outside 5 feet away and not doing anything.
That's right. And again, I think
nice ankle pick.
Very nice. And again, Dyke's coming across a little timid at this point.
Yeah.
And after the aggressive takedown to start the match, you can understand why. But unfortunately, it's 11-2 now, and You know, Dyke has got to make a move on the bottom and try to make something happen here.
Yeah, he can't really figure out that Miller or Fenner, whoever it is their takedowns are just too much for Dyke at this point.
Yeah, and you know, that's pretty frustrating.
Yeah,
to be that other wrestler to have a guy take you down at will. That'll demoralize you pretty quick.
Yeah, and looks like Trace is attempting to get a little tilt action and
step through. He may be going for a seatbelt cradle here.
Yeah.
No, he looks like he's just going to Turk it.
Yeah. And Dyke's been, you know, he's been hard to get on his back.
Yeah, to his credit, that's right. He hasn't
turned over for him.
I believe he's only given up backs one time.
Right. But at a point here, that's only a consolation prize when you're getting your butt.
Yeah, that's right. Again,
Here's the back points. He did roll.
Yeah, and again, we got a stack here, and this is going to be a fall.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when your elbow or your ankles are that far over your head.
Yeah. When you can
your back
see your
is
knees
flat.
and your feet above your head, you know you're in a bad way.
That's right. And
3:34 the second period fall for Miami Trace, and we've got Caleb Thatcher for the Adena
and Hottinger for the Panthers at 182.
You know, you notice these kids in the middle upper weights. For Trace, they all look about the same. We got about that same build. Kind of look like Coke machines with arms.
That's right. That's right.
And pretty impressive looking kids.
So here we are again, 182. And both wrestlers circling, feeling each other out. Now starting to tie up.
Thatcher and Hottinger.
And again.
Trace is in the black singlets with the lightning bolts, and Adena.
The blue faded to white.
Adena has
or vice versa, however you want to call it.
White with the A on the back. What's Adena's nickname? Do you know?
They are the Warriors.
They're the
Adena Warriors.
Okay.
Yep.
So that makes sense. A lot of hanging on the neck there.
Yeah, not a lot of action here, but again, like we talked before, the heavier weights, a lot of feeling each other out, really looking for a mistake or an opening on the other wrestler's part.
It's just not getting it done right now. And kind of slow pace compared to the last few that we watched.
That's for sure.
Right here, guys.
Now, we have obviously not been keeping track of this, but all the wrestlers that Trace brought, I imagine that we're not seeing the same guys wrestling each match. They're probably, like in this case, or the last case when they had Miller and Fenner, they probably had Miller wrestle one and Fenner wrestle the other.
Right, and and that's a good opportunity at a tri-meet like this, especially like we mentioned with East Clinton and Trace being in the same league, but Adena being a non-league matchup. You're probably going to let those kids that aren't in the lineup get their shot.
Time.
Exactly.
Yeah. It gives your younger kids a shot, and it's a little different than other sports. We don't have you don't see the JV teams anymore like we used to.
That's true. Very true. So double stalling the call here. Referee's kind of seeing the same thing we are with no action. So Hottinger takes their advice and goes for it. See if he can't finish. Trying to treetop it there. He's elevating that leg. Step through. And, well, unfortunately, you're probably not a situation where you want to do the back trip right on the line. Trip front and bring him back in bounds there to go for your two. But Hottinger didn't have it, so he finished the only way he could, and we're back on our feet. So we're going to end up here 0-0. Both wrestlers hit for stalling. So the next stalling call will be a point. Trace's choice. He chooses down. Go ahead, Coach.
Chuck, something I noticed. Whenever there's been a stalling warning here tonight, the Trace wrestlers shoot right after the warning. Appears that they catch their opponents off guard because they're focusing on the official.
Thinking about the stalling point or the call. Yeah, that makes sense. So Adena, or Thatcher there, went for an optional start, but he has to show that to the official first. And so now we're going to restart an optional start there. And optional start is, again, you can see the wrestler starts on his feet as opposed to behind him.
Thatcher's got
out in front with a front headlock, and
not quite sure what it was there. He was
questionable call, I think, going with the optional start there.
Yeah.
In the old days, I say the old days, it was the thing where you know, if you were going to give that guy the escape, you would do that and then just let him up.
Right.
But, of course, with the automatic escape now, you don't need to do that. So
Yep, that's for sure.
it's become pretty obsolete there. And we get a traditional start here out of Thatcher.
Yeah.
And, again, he's going to ride the hip here, try to turn him. And nice job by Hottinger to get to his feet.
Thatcher did a good job of picking up the ankle, but
Yes, he did. But
if
again,
you ride the ankle, you're going to get busted for that.
that's
second
right.
stalling.
And that's what Thatcher's really got to be careful here is that
Yeah, he really
if Hottinger
does.
gets to work here and makes him move, Thatcher could be in real trouble with the stalling call.
Yeah. You know, you're going to get to the point. Of course, you never know when they're going to call it, but
That's right. Thatcher,
nice
excuse
head
me.
to
Yep.
ribs there.
Trying to do a crunch cradle here. And he's got look at that. He's got the far leg on that.
Yeah. You don't usually see that.
Yeah,
Okay, so now
we're going to get a stop in the action here.
he's got to make that hard decision. Yeah, say ride.
So he did. He called stalling for holding on the ankle.
Yeah.
So first point in the match will be a penalty point awarded to Hottinger.
Yeah.
2-1. Or excuse me, 1-0.
And now he's got to watch out.
Yeah,
'cause,
he's got to let him go or bring him back to the mat, or he's going to get hit for stalling again.
He's got to watch out. He doesn't get called for clasping too. You got to look at strategy here with a kid that appears to be inexperienced.
That's right.
Maybe
you
he'd be
think
better off kicking him out.
I was going to say he'd be better off to give up 1 point escape than a 2-point reversal there.
Right.
Or another stalling call. We've got a caution here on the restart. Looks like we had someone jump the whistle there.
Yeah, it doesn't. Thatcher, it looks like a strong kid. It just doesn't look like he's really putting things together out there.
Yeah, I'd say his technique isn't quite where it needs to be yet.
Right.
But again, like we mentioned, Medina being a young program, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a first-year or second-year wrestler.
Right. And I'm really surprised, of course, as you say, being a young wrestler, throwing your leg in when you've got your 2 warnings for stalling is not a recommended thing there.
No, definitely not. Yeah, and you can see there, he's just not sure what to do, I don't think, to break him down, unfortunately.
Yeah. Although if he can get out of this, Chuck, with 1-0 and not get busted again, it'll be
Yeah.
He'll be in good shape
That's
going
right.
to last
That's
period.
right. And again, we've got a close match here on the board. It's 1-0.
Yep.
10 seconds to go here in the second.
And
nice sit out. See if he can finish, but just about
back.
sucked him back there.
And we've got 3 seconds to go, and it looks like Thatcher's going to get through this, Chuck.
Yeah, to his credit, he rode him out there.
Yeah.
And
The 1 point. And
1-0. So Thatcher's choice, he's going to go down here.
that's a great move there. And,
It really is. Let's see if maybe he can force a stalling call on Hottinger here.
Yeah. And then get away, and he's in
2-point play of his own right there. That's
2-point
right.
play.
And Hottinger tries to break
right
him down.
to the wrist, too,
Yes, he
or
did.
right to the ankle. And
Let's see if he can turn and face him.
there you go.
There we go. There's one. And referee's going to start him back in the middle here.
So we got a new ball game here at
We
1-1.
sure do. 1-1. Third period.
And
Again, both wrestlers hit for stalling.
they're
Adena twice. Thacker was hit twice. Gave up 1 point. So
the Adena kid definitely is going to have to be the aggressor, or else
yeah, he can't
he'll be
risk.
the one that loses it on the penalty point.
That's right. He can't risk another stalling call. And,
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, if he can push Trace out of bounds like that continuously, and
Oh, nice attempt.
That was
Got the
nice.
single, Chuck.
see if he can step up, step through, up.
Oh.
Again, I think
Oh,
that's
he's fleeing. Now, see, I would have to question there. It appeared that the Trace kid was trying to go directly off the mat.
oh, certainly not. Are you implying that he would flee the mat there to avoid the takedown?
And, of course, that could be a penalty point.
Very,
And,
yeah, and in fact, that's one thing that I've seen a major shift in probably the past 10 years. 10 years ago, that was a good strategy thing. Now they call that a penalty.
Right. I wrestled with a kid in high school that was a state champ, and he was famous for wrestling the edge of the mat and never got in trouble.
A lot of great wrestlers do that, wrestle the edge.
And
So
if he
see-
could get across,
Yeah, trying to peel him off his leg here, but he can't do it.
Thatcher can get the crossface in and get around.
But again, Thatcher Strong kid. If he can keep coming, got to keep spinning.
They're going to call stalemate here in a second, Chuck.
No call yet. But I think you're right. It's got to be forthcoming, and
normally about 15 seconds.
There it is. There it is. Again, a stalemate is just where neither wrestler's in a position to improve his position.
Yeah, they're just kind of locked into a position where none of them can get an advantage.
Exactly. So 30 seconds here, 1-1.
Oh, nice
shot by Trace.
Oh.
And there's a takedown. But again, it's not over yet. We've got 20 seconds to go here.
You're right. He could get out. He could get a reversal. I mean, there's a lot of things. It looks like his Thatcher's kind of thrown in the towel here. Though,
yeah, I think Thatcher looks pretty tired at this point. And
you
got to be pretty demoralized after giving up that takedown, too.
Yeah.
And you're right. He could be hurt.
Yeah. And I thought we were going to see Trace's first loss tonight.
I did, too, there for a second. You're right. So Hottinger, to his credit, though, comes back and picks up a nice 3-1 victory. Got the takedown when he needed to.
And Caleb Thatcher, stay with it, son. You got some potential. Just got to put some moves together.
He certainly does. Nice, strong-looking young man. I'm sure he'll have a lot of wins in his future.
So we got.
So now we're going to 195. We've got Jones from Miami Trace and Zach Sevi from Adena.
Jones matched up with our Nate Morgan and had a quick pin there. So
yes, he did. He worked that quick underhook. Let's see what he does with Sevi here.
Looks like Sevi could have his hands full too.
And again, pounds that underhook in right away. Has his high hips, drives him down. There it is. Quick takedown by Jones. Excuse me there.
Jones
walking the armbar over.
And the wrist.
And this is pretty tight.
Yeah.
See if he gets his other leg over, this is good night Irene here.
Yeah, and I think if
it might be anyway.
Yeah, and I think if Sevi can eat. Yeah.
And there it is.
So Jones of Miami Trace would have fallen in 28 seconds in the first period. And
Jones, 2 nice wins tonight.
Yeah,
Coach.
he was impressive.
Wins. Yes, he was. Okay, 220 again. This is Avea, I believe, and it looks like he's going to get a forfeit.
Okay. And that'll take us to our last match.
That's right. We got the big boys here coming up.
Yep.
285. We've got Morris from Miami Trace and Gabe Scott from Adena.
Gabe Scott make a nice offensive lineman for somebody.
Probably the Adena Warriors, Coach, would be my guess.
He'd be a nice bookend tackle.
That's right. You know, unfortunately, Miami Trace, his name escapes me, but they have a really nice heavyweight that unfortunately is injured, but he is a returning, I believe, state qualifier.
Oh.
But I don't believe he's wrestled yet this season, so hopefully he can get back in the lineup and make a run here late in the year.
Right.
But again, for now, Morris is filling in for Trace.
And looks like Gabe Scott has got the, well.
It looked like Morris take a shot there. My view was obstructed.
I think he did.
I do too.
And Gabe Scott came down on top of him and spun around and nearly got the.
Didn't get the 2, but you're right. He was very close. So, again.
Pretty quick moving heavyweights, though, for Chuck.
Yeah, they are. They're tying up here, circling. Again, kind of feeling each other out, looking for an opening.
A lot of ties, a lot of throw type of stuff that we see. And, the type of things that you just see on a nightly basis when you see heavyweights wrestle.
That's right. Yeah, a little different than the 106 matchups.
Yeah, nobody's shooting on the legs in these matches. And there's moves like the Russian tie and little underhooks and overhooks and try to jockey into an upper position where they can get a throw and take them to the mat.
Exactly. And that's pretty much what we've had here, filling in, a little hand fighting, pummeling inside, trying to get inside position, and really not a lot of action so far.
Now, first 10 seconds was the best part of it.
That's right. So Scott there, looks like he may be on the Russian there. Yeah, 2-on-1 there, and Morris drags out of it. And again,
a lot of leaning.
A lot of leaning, tying up, and again, looked like he tried to catch him leaning there, maybe with a snap down. But again, one thing he's got to do, if he's going to do that, he can't be head-to-head.
Right.
You can't snap that guy through your body. You've got to create the room for that to happen.
Looked like Morris was trying to use Scott's aggressiveness against him. And and almost paid the price.
Morris tried a little throw by there, didn't get it. Little shuck. And there's Scott with a tip shuck, and nothing there either.
And a little bit of a carbon.
And here we go. Nice little snap down there, and
wow,
nice job by Scott to spin around and pick up the two. So
quick move for a big guy.
Yeah, I think we're going to put 4 seconds back on the clock here.
Yeah, you would think.
So it's going to be 2-0, and I imagine Scott's just going to ride him out here for 4 seconds.
Yeah, I guess he's going to get a whistle and a whistle.
Yep. A bang bang,
yeah.
right?
I guess not.
He's going to count it out on the mat. Yeah, so there you go. So end of the first, we got 2-0 Adena. Gabe Scott from Adena with the 2-point lead at the moment.
And what we had happen there for the fans is that there was a rundown on the clock, but actually 4 seconds was remaining, and the second official counted it down, so they did not have to reset the clock.
So here we go, neutral. Scott goes for a hip toss there. Held head and arm.
Morris made him pay. He missed the hip toss.
He sure did. Yeah, that's that's a high risk, high reward move right there. If Scott's able to hit that, he probably puts Morris on his back.
Yeah, Morris slipped the head, and
he sure did.
And Gabe went right down to the mat.
And again, Morris is making him pay for it. He's got the half in.
Yeah, it looks. He's going to have to get himself.
He's going to try to jump sides, and Scott, to his credit, built a nice base here.
Yeah.
Morris has got to break him back down, and he does. A roll through the big man roll. That's right.
And another big man roll. So we had a 2 and a 2 and a 2.
That's right, and that's something you don't see in every weight class. That's for sure.
No, not at all. And they're back up on their feet.
But that's what makes these big boys fun.
Yeah. That was a fun exchange there, a little action.
Yes, it was. So, again, looks like fatigue's starting to set in a little bit on both wrestlers.
Yeah. A lot of energy expenditure for big guys.
And, again, you can see if you measure the stances when they started compared to where they are now.
Right. A lot of
these
leaning.
guys have moved a lot of inches, yeah.
Yeah, they're itching each other's neck right now. And they say, man, I'm tired.
And, again, you can see, if you look at Scott, watch him try to set it up again. He keeps turning to the side, trying to get his hip in.
Yeah.
So you got a double stall call there.
Yeah, and Scott he's really getting straight up. I would not be surprised to see a Morris maybe with an outside single knee pick type of thing. The more we see Scott start to stand straight up.
I agree 100%.
Because we saw Scott just take a little peek at the clock.
Yeah.
He's tired.
There we go. He tries to throw that hip in again.
And we're coming down to the last second.
Yeah, and we're going to get out of the second period here, and it's going to be 4-3.
And we've got third period action, and we get 4-3, and
it looks like Trace is going to choose down. So still the right call, I think, even in the heavyweight class.
Sure. And we're going to see Gabe Scott work from the top now,
and again, Scott basically just tries to collapse him with his weight.
The thing I like about that is he got all his weight on top of him right away. But
I'll tell you what, boy, look at Morris. Morris shows some strength. They're fighting it off.
And Morris fought his way
nice
through.
Job for the one. So that ties it up here at 4-all here, Bill, going into just at the beginning of the third period. Scott looks like he got a second wind here a little bit.
Yeah, he does. And got a new match here with 1:30 to go, and we haven't seen overtime yet.
No, we haven't.
And
again, Morris just about had the angle. And again, like we talked about, in the heavyweight class, that's a lot of what these guys are looking for, is basically to get to the side and be able to do a side attack, because you really don't want to shoot underneath one of these guys.
No. Once in a rare while, you see these kind of guys that are an extraordinary athlete will do it, but not often do we see that.
Right.
And they're centering back in the mat. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get another double stall.
We very well could. There we go. Morris, the aggression again.
Wow.
And, Scott needs to match that right now, or he will get hit again.
He does. Because these officials are saying, I don't want to see another period of this. So
that's right. And, Morris has dictated a lot of the action.
He has.
A little shuck try there. And
now,
Now, Scott can get his weight and snap him down, but again, Morris pummels out. Nice job by Morris.
Yeah, nice job. And Scott just, his front headlock sloppy. He didn't have it locked in real tight, and Morris was able to get out.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It was a prime scoring opportunity for Scott.
And again, 4-4 here. We're closing in on the last 20 seconds here. In fact, we've got 15 seconds to go in the third period here.
I think it's pretty safe to say we're probably headed to overtime here unless thunder and lightning hit us here in the last
Well, Trace does have lightning on his singlet, so we'll see what happens.
I could be wrong on this.
See if he can't finish.
Can Scott fend it off? He's got the
See if he
whizzer
can finish.
hit.
Time expires. Wow.
It almost, there was almost that last second takedown.
No, Coach. We've got, we got a 1 minute overtime period here.
And in overtime, for our fans out there, what happens here, Chuck, is if a man gets a takedown in this first period, he wins the match.
Sudden victory.
Sudden victory.
Sudden victory. So, again, they tie up. And, again, 1 minute, so shortened periods here. But, again, both wrestlers have been hit. Probably be a little more tentative to call stalling in overtime, but it certainly could be called.
Yep. And we have seen it happen in the past. A lot of big matches have been decided by penalty points.
If I'm not mistaken, that happened in the state tournament 2 years ago.
Yes.
So. Okay, we're closing in on 30 seconds here to go. Not a lot of action out of either man. Again, just looking for the other guy to make a mistake.
Trying to feel him out and
give up that angle or get out of position.
And now
20 seconds to go.
And one thing for our fans out there, while you're watching, whenever a man backs up, you're always at risk of getting called for stalling on that.
A referee never wants to see you backing up on the mat.
Right.
That's right.
And you move side to side, but if you're backing away from the action, you're going to get nailed for stalling.
That's right. And so we're closing in here, 3, 2, 1. So that's the end of the first overtime period. We're still knotted up at 4.
And here we go into the second period of overtime. And this will be 30 seconds, correct, Chuck?
I believe so.
1 minute, okay. I thought it was 30.
30 seconds, yeah.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, and what will happen is we had a coin flip there, and I believe one wrestler is going to get a choice here of top or bottom.
Right.
And that wrestler has to escape or prevent his opponent from escaping.
Right.
Or vice versa.
Of course, this puts a lot of pressure on the on both of them, actually. But the man on top is
well, top man really has the pressure because
he
has to ride him for 30 seconds.
Right.
Where the bottom man
just needs to score.
Right.
So Miami
Coach,
Trace, who's looking to get out of this gymnasium without a loss tonight.
Yeah, getting a little bit of a discussion with the referees. And okay, so we're going to get back at it here again. Second overtime period. Morris is down. Scott from Adena mounting. There's the whistle. Again, Scott goes heavy to the head.
Gabe Scott's.
But again, leaves the hips uncovered, and Morris is able to back up.
Well, he did a nice job kicking the ankle out on that.
Yes, he did.
Got the leg in. You never see big guys
No, you don't.
legs.
No, you don't.
I give him credit. Oh, he looks like he's trying to fold him up in the cradle.
Yes, he is. Another move rare in the heavier weights.
We hadn't seen that earlier, but he's way high.
And he got out in front, and there's Morris with the escape.
Yeah.
So it took him 27 seconds, but he got it. Now let's see if Scott can match that.
Right. And if it remains tied after that, then they go to what they call super overtime now, and the action really doubles.
Right.
So here we go. Gabe Scott, Morris of Miami Trace. Gabe Scott is from Adena. And we're into the third period of overtime.
So Morris down again.
5-4 Morris.
Morris, fat man rolled him.
Turned
into him, and here we go. See if he can't finish him off right here.
And I think
I think he did.
Wow.
And there it is in double overtime.
A lot of time.
Morris from Trace with a fall.
It's a lot of time to wrestle to lose that right at the end like that.
It certainly is. That's right.
And then it looks like at this point we may have an exhibition match coming up here, Chuck.
Yeah, it looks like we're actually going to have, we've got Duffy from, we've got Cheney and Duffy still to get forfeits, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Call.
So
Good call.
This is Cheney, the 6-pounder,
and then Duffy
and Duffy at 13, right?
And Trace ran the table tonight, Chuck.
They did. So Panthers come into Lee's Creek and put on a show and walk away with 2 easy victories.
Interesting side note about the Miami Trace Wrestling program is back in the 1970s, gentleman that worked in the wrestling program at Kenston High School, where I graduated with, he came down here to become the head wrestling coach at Miami Trace.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
And his name was Bob Mowry, and a lot of respect for that man. He taught me a lot about football and wrestling. And Bob, if you're out there, I still remember all the lessons you taught me, and I hope you're enjoying your retirement right now.
That's right. And, Kenston, that is a school with a great wrestling tradition,
Yes.
Coach.
Yeah. We were fortunate enough to win the state championship in 1972, and we were always there during the 70s in the top 3 in the state. And, it's one of those things that gets in your blood, Chuck, and you always kind of stay with it. And
right.
People don't always understand it, but it's something you always love.
That's right. So, again, for those of you that are joining us for the first time, there does have to be a 45-minute break time in between the wrestlers' matches. So as soon as Adena gets their required break, we'll have East Clinton and Adena coming up. But again, Trace cruises to 2 shutout victories against East Clinton and Adena.
And just wanted to tell our fans that next Thursday night at Charlie's over in Sabina at 7 o'clock, we'll have the East Clinton Sports Show. It's going to be a weekly program where you're going to find out about the Astros, things that you may not know that's going on in the program, and they'll be talking with athletes and coaches and people from the community about what's going on in East Clinton athletics. So that's going to be at Charlie's next Thursday night at 7 o'clock. And another part of the expansion of the GTVR network as far as us getting you involved with the community. And Rick, is this something, I know you guys had done the Saturday show during the football season and that. Will the Saturday show continue along with the show for the East Clinton Sports?
It may. We haven't been doing the Saturday show from the Rusty Keg now since before Christmas.
Okay.
We took a Christmas break. This may be our Saturday show on a Thursday night.
Okay.
A lot of that will depend. Now, one of the things that we want to do is, and once again, it's dependent on bandwidth a lot of times, be able to take phone calls, be able to answer people's questions. They can call in, they can talk with the coaches. And certainly if we have an audience there at Charlie's, we'll make it available to have a microphone so that people in the audience can actually ask the coaches questions as well.
TV is a great way to promote your schools and promote your businesses. And Rick, you want to talk about how, if somebody's interested in the network, how they can get involved, and if they want to get advertising on the network and what they could do about that?
Probably the easiest way is to call our company line, the Internet Nation line, which is 888, and it's 202-6624. That's 888-202-6624. You can call us. It's toll-free, and we'll answer any questions. And certainly we'd love to get you signed up either as a sponsor to advertise on some of the other programs that we're going to be presenting, or obviously if you have any questions as far as our broadcasts, the East Clinton channel, anything else that we're doing.
And as you said, we're looking at options here with the network to bring in some local programming involving not only sports, but what's going on in the school, politics, and other public programming.
Sure. Ministries. There's an enormous array of things that we can obviously do. We're even going to have maybe some reality TV shows. So we'll anyone that's aspiring as far as an actor, give us a call. We'll be happy to to maybe develop a storyline for you.
Maybe we'll have Wilmington's Idol out here or something like that.
Well, and Chuck might he may have another calling there.
Yeah, I'm going to go on record and say that's not going to happen. But interesting proposal.
Chuck could be the new Simon Cowell of the program.
Maybe I could do that. Sure.
Maybe you could do that.
I could criticize, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But we're broadcasting here from the East Clinton Middle School gym at the varsity wrestling tri-meet between Miami Trace, Adena, and East Clinton. East Clinton opened up against Miami Trace, and Miami Trace won that duel 75-0. In the match against Adena, Trace threw another shutout and was perfect in all their matches tonight, Chuck. And boy, that's tough to beat when you don't lose any.
Yeah, it sure is. Boy, Miami Trace looks strong from the top of the lineup all the way to the bottom. Not a lot of holes in that lineup.
No, and they'll be tough in the SCOL to beat coming up here in a few weeks as we get into the league tournament. And we're hoping to see the Astros, tune up and get ready, and hopefully bring back some league placers, maybe league champion.
That's right. It'll be the second year in the SCOL for East Clinton. Last year they had one league placer. Thomas Floria placed, I believe, fourth at 106 pounds. So, be looking for a few more of those this upcoming year like you talked about. So hopefully that happens.
It would be nice to see get some of those championship banners for the individuals up there. Wrestling's a team sport, like when we do the dual meets here, but at the same time when we're in the tournaments, it's also an individual sport. That's the uniqueness of it, that you can have a state champion wrestler and still be called a team at the same time. So a great concept that's worked for many years in the state. And now, however, next Wednesday, though, we'll have something new to wrestling. Chuck, you want to talk about the
That's right.
state dual meet?
Yeah, East Clinton will be making their debut in the state dual meet tournament. For those local fans real familiar with wrestling, Blanchester finished very high in this tournament last year. But basically, again, it is a matchup of teams, not just individuals. So just like tonight, the team score will determine who wins the match. And, it's a bracketed tournament throughout the state, so East Clinton will face a local opponent. I don't believe they know who yet. I don't believe that's been said, has it?
Actually, I think it's actually on Jim's got a poster outside his office. It did it had the brackets.
Okay, then
I do know that we were the 8th seed going in, and we wrestled a 9th seed, and if we win, we have Blanchester in the second round.
So there you go.
So and hopefully we might be able to get that information here pretty soon. So sure. And we're going to have a little interview here. Okay. And Chuck, we've got many faces in the crowd here. We're going to get one on the radio.
That's right.
Hello. How are we doing tonight?
Good.
We are here at the East Clinton Wrestling Meet and on GTVR. And why don't you introduce yourself and talk to us a little bit about your impressions of what you see tonight?
My name's Jack Anders. I'm the head wrestling coach at Miami Trace High School for the past 5 years. I've been there. This is my 15th year. Been with the program. As far as with the varsity, I haven't got to see a whole lot of the junior high matches, but varsity-wise, I thought that East Clinton with the kids that they had, they come out. They're starting to do things well. They're doing things better. You can just see the improvement from last year to this year with them. Once he gets his numbers up and he's got some kids out right now. I think he's almost got a full lineup, but he's got 4 or 5 kids that are out right now, and that makes a big difference. And but I think overall, they're improving, and I see what they're doing in the league, and they're only getting better.
Coach, you want to talk a little bit about your season? We don't hear a whole lot about you guys, but Chuck's from the area. I'm new to the area, but we know that you have a rich tradition. And I was telling Chuck that back in the 70s, a gentleman that coached at my high school actually came down here to become the head wrestling coach. And he was a great influence in my life. And I could only imagine that program took off, and you guys have done a great job keeping that going. The gentleman's name was Bob Mowry. And I haven't talked to Bob in probably 30 years, but I shouted out to him and said, Coach, I'm still there, and I still love you for all the things you did for me, and I'm sure you're doing that for your kids. And so why don't you talk a little bit about your program and how things have been going this year?
You know, in a whole with our program, with anything, you got to have a good feeder program. Right now, we've got approximately 81 kids in our youth program. We got around 24, 25 kids at the junior high level, and then we got another 23 kids at the varsity level. So, I mean, you're looking, you know, in your program total, well over 100 kids, and that's how you build it from the bottom up. And you know, we've stayed with that tradition for years, and you know, it's kind of like a blueprint. You know, Coach Mowry was a coach of mine, and Dan Roberts. But we had Little Panther Wrestling back then. We call Panther Wrestling Club now. And last year we had about 55 kids. This year we got 81. So you can see where we're increasing in numbers, and that hopefully that wave continues on through our junior high. And we got a lot of 2-3 year kids or second year kids that have came back and wrestled for our youth program, and now we're starting to see that trickle in effect to our junior high, and eventually we'll actually move into our varsity. So, you know, we're very pleased with that. A little bit about our varsity team. We started out injured this year. Tracy made the state playoffs, lost my heavyweight, Hayden Bottorff, 2-time state qualifier. He's been out all season. We hope to have him back here in a couple more weeks. The kid that wrestled 170 for us tonight, Russell Miller, has been out since November 30th with a shoulder injury. A tremendous athlete, tremendous wrestler. He was a junior. I think he was elementary state champ. He was third in junior high state championship. So, you know, there's a kid that, you know, you get him on the mat, he's pretty impressive. And, you know, you go right through our lineup at 106. He's a freshman. He's improving each week. Wrestled junior high for us. Timmy Chaney, you know, doing a good job. Trent Duffy at 113, 2-time state placer for us. You know, just comes in, works hard, 120. Kevin Gusson, he was a sophomore. He was actually a 106-pounder last year. Maybe not a 120-pounder, but yeah, that's where he fits in the lineup. And then you go right into 26. Trendon Fox, a senior. Good, hard-working kid, does anything you ask of him. Great leader. You know, sometimes he doesn't get the results on the mat that we wish for him to get, but he's wrestled a lot of butt kickers this year. So that, you know, when you go to tournaments and you're like, well, you're in the best weight class again this week. So, but you know, he doesn't get discouraged. He comes back, wrestles hard, and continues to practice. We got Bryson Latard at 32. He's a junior, state qualifier as a freshman. Last year was 5th at the districts, you know, and worked hard in the weight room in the off season, did a great job getting stronger, and you know, it's paying the dividends now. You know, he can wrestle a weight class where he's not cutting a bunch of weight and feels a lot better about himself. And then at 138 we got Brody Price, a senior, you know, hard-working kid. He's 16-3 now on the season.
Excellent record.
Yeah, doing a great job, just continues to get better. And this is what we've kind of expected out of him the last couple of years, and he's really showed it this year, and we're happy with what he's doing. 45, I got a sophomore, Austin Lovett, continues to improve every day. He's got a freshman right behind him that's pretty good.
We saw you're pretty deep at that weight.
Yeah, Derek Moore. The Littrell boy is actually a 38-pounder, but we just let him weigh in at 45 tonight. Derek Moore and Lovett wrestle off all the time. It's been back and forth all season. So, you know, they still got a couple wrestle-offs left, so we'll see how it ends up. And then at 52, we got Austin Bauman. He didn't wrestle tonight. I think he had a forfeit, and I wanted to get a couple of our younger kids some matches. And then at 60, we got Travis Grooms. He was 5th last year at the districts. Just an aggressive kid.
I remember Travis from football,
yeah,
so he's a great linebacker.
He loves to come forward,
yeah,
and he carries that mentality out here. I already talked about Miller at 70. I got another freshman in there, Jared Finner, young kid, good-looking kid, you know. And by sitting behind some of these upper weights that are pretty good, this is a good time for them to learn and get and develop instead of just getting mauled all the time. In 82, I got a sophomore with Matthew Hottinger. Last year didn't win a whole lot of matches, but has physically gotten stronger. The kid from Adena was a very strong athlete, you know, and you could tell, you know, that this is what their, I believe, second year with their program. Yep. You know, and that kid did a nice job. You know, he's a junior. He's a second-year wrestler. Sure. You know,
Yeah, that was one of those matches.
Yeah,
Could have went either way there.
and the kid did a nice job, and he's got to continue to improve. And we went up to Brecksville for the holiday tournament. He wrestled a tremendous tournament, and then we come back, and it's something about that sophomore year. We're kind of like back to where we were when we were freshmen, but he's going to improve. He's going to get better. 95, Jeremiah Jones. He's a junior. You've seen a steady improvement with him throughout the course of his career. That comes with strength, maturity in the upper weight division. 220, Cesar Abija is a junior. He had to sit out the first 10 points of this season. He came from Westland High School, so he had to sit out 10 points. Tonight was his actual first match in, so he's certified, and I think the kids are really happy to see him get a wrestle because, you've been practicing since the beginning of November. And
you get a little reward.
Yeah, now you get some reward for it. So he's pretty happy. And then at heavyweight, we got Skylar Morris. Anytime you get in the heavyweight division, strength becomes an issue. And, me and Skylar have talked about, we got to get to the weight room. We got to get stronger. He does a lot of things right. He's just not strong enough. The heavyweight he's wrestling tonight's 280, and we're still at 240 pounds. So we got to just get a lot stronger, and we'll be fine.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time. Congratulations, great performance tonight.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you see Bob Mowry, tell him I
See
said
you all
hello.
the time in the weight room.
Tell him Bill Hrabak says hello.
I will do.
Thank you.
All right, again, that was Coach Jack Anders, head wrestling coach of the Miami Trace Panthers. Okay, back to the live action coverage here at 152. We've got Chuck Erdman, and he is taking on, I'm guessing.
He may have bumped up to wrestle
he probably
Mikey.
bumped up to 60 and wrestling Mikey Crispin. Again, with Hrabak out at 160, just to get Chuck a match here, I'm sure they move him
Yeah.
up. So,
and that's the whole point, is to get out there and
exactly. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like Adena's got 7 wrestlers. So, East Clinton with some holes in the lineup as well. You want to try to get those matchups where you can get them. So,
and they travel all this way to get here, and you want to get the kids some time on the mat, not just go out and raise their hand.
Right.
Chuck made a nice effort to get out of that. And
another attempt to stand up, and again, if he keeps doing that, he's going to force locking hands or something out of the other wrestler.
He's got to get that arm off the head.
Yeah. He could. He's got to give up that wrist
there
control.
You go. Nice job. He's got to force that elbow down to the mat
Yep.
and try to get to his base again, and he's fighting there.
He's got to get there. He goes. Knees up. Now he's building. If he gets there, we go.
So one thing about Charlie is that he will give you 100% all the time.
That's right. Yeah, you never have to doubt his effort. That's for sure.
And at 4-4, if he can somehow get this point with 8 seconds to go, it would help us tremendously, or help his efforts tremendously in getting a victory.
Exactly. So again, 8 seconds to go here in the first. Chance of maybe a quick escape here, maybe reversal.
Yep.
See what Charles can do off the whistle, and he does go
right
for the
to
stand-up, but that's right. Break, nice, easy breakdown on the ankle.
Looks like we're going to go to the second period knotted up at 4-4. Okay, here we are, and we've got Erdman will be down.
All right, so again, second period here, 4-4.
Crispin will be on top, and Chuck can't let him ride him out this time. He's going to have to make them right to the ankle.
Every time on that ankle breakdown, yep.
A lot of them. We've seen that with several of their wrestlers.
Yes, we have.
Can be risky if they don't do anything. You throw the leg in and grab the ankle, you could be moving in a bad direction as far as the officials are concerned. So.
Yeah, that's right. So again, Charles still trying to work for an escape here, or reversal.
Working the hands. And
starting to build up, but again, on the ankle, returns him to the mat. So
just can't seem to free both his.
Crispin, to his credit, has done a nice job keeping him on the mat.
Yep. And.
But I'll tell you, that is one thing that Charles, the unseen thing here is that Crispin is expending a lot of energy keeping Charles on the mat.
Yeah.
And if Charles keeps working the stand-up, Crispin, is working hard to keep him down.
Right. And that's the thing, is that you do that for a certain amount of time, you're going to make that mistake, and that's going to allow Chuck to get out and and score, and then it's going to force Crispin to become an offensive wrestler instead of being a defensive wrestler.
Exactly. But again,
we have a
Charles
shoe
still
timeout
down here. That's right. Timeout on the laces. So Charles still down here. Again, about 1:30 to go here in the period. Right to his feet.
And he's got it. Now, when he goes to throw that leg, he can defend that by grabbing that hip and throwing it to the mat. And
right.
Great time to do that is when he's in that stand-up position like that.
And again, see if he can't slide out the back
get
here.
that arm out of there if he gets.
Yeah, he's got to get rid of that arm bar.
Yeah, he's got to get that bar out.
And he's got it. Nice job working
now
through
if he can stand up, then we're on the edge of the mat.
Crispin, nice job recovering to get back behind there.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's going to lead to stalling because, he's just spending way too much time on the hip like we talked about.
Yeah, Chuck, we talked about that, and we saw that coming a few, 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, we really did.
And this can be a problem here for Crispin if he doesn't start to put something together. One thing that Doug Stalen's done a great job is his kids are in shape, they're conditioned, and you can see with Chuck, Chuck's not worn out here. He just keeps on putting assaults on him here. And
that's right. And again, that's such a big part of wrestling that I don't think people realize that aren't really involved in the sport. But again, the constant motion all the time.
And if Chuck could have hipped into him there, he still might, Chuck.
And we're out of bounds again. So again, we're going to go reset in the middle.
Yep.
Just shy, 39 seconds, just
period.
shy of 40 seconds here. That's right. Score's still tied, 4-all.
Crispin's looking pretty tired right
Yes,
here.
he is. And, again, Chuck, to his credit, first guy back in the middle. He's down and set. And like we mentioned before in an earlier match, a lot of that is a mental thing.
Yep.
But I'll tell you who noticed that. Crispin noticed that.
Yep. And then Chuck did a good job keeping his wrist unavailable for him. He's got the bar.
But again, to the bar and arm a little too far forward, potentially dangerous to call again, just to avoid an injury there. Not anything intentional on Crispin's part.
No.
Just a little bit too far forward with the pressure.
Well, again, second-year wrestler and got a little bit overzealous with that.
So
and Chuck he was in a scoring position.
Yes, he was. Let's see if he can't slide out of that. But again, Crispin, to his credit.
Crispin is just hanging on there.
He really is.
I mean, he was laying flat on the mat, Chuck, and he is dead tired here. Now, Chuck can move out of this. A Granby roll would be a real great move right here.
Yep. We're going to get a loss of control or not? Looks like we're not.
No.
Close, but again, on the edge.
Yeah.
Didn't quite work. So 6 seconds here again. Could be
Crispin
time for a quick stand-up reversal, but yeah, he really is, Coach. You're right. I think Chuck is up in the conditioning battle right now.
And if he can keep on assaulting this, he's got to have that opportunity. Can Chuck score here? 2 seconds to go.
And he didn't. Hit a quick stand-up again.
And he was returned to the mat. And okay, so Crispin
chooses down.
Right, which would be the wise thing to do here.
Yep.
And really, if he gets away, we're still not in a bad situation because the takedown can win it for us.
Exactly, but this is a key word. If that happens, Charles has got to be careful to give up one, not two.
Yeah, and he also can't get.
And so there's the one.
Yeah, and I think that's good because Charles has had some problems this year with clasping calls from the top.
And there we go. Charles took a blind shot like we talked about earlier. And
yep.
Crispin's able to capitalize here. Let's see. There's the two.
Yeah. And, Crispin being a 160, Chuck's wrestled 152 all year, so.
That's right. You got a natural mismatch here.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a weight advantage for Crispin.
And that's tight.
And Chuck's, he's in a tough way.
Yeah, and that's going to do it, unfortunately. Crispin gets the fall.
At 440.
440 into the match, Coach.
Yep. And you know what? It was a gamely fought match by Chuck.
Yes, it was. Showed a lot of heart there.
Yeah, he did.
Got to give him credit.
He did.
Okay, so it looks like we're not going to have anyone until 195. So Nate Morgan showing, and here's Zach Sevy. So, both these wrestlers, wrestled Jones from Trace and
had similar results.
Well, I was going to say, yeah. So this could be a pretty evenly matched up match here.
I think so. So maybe Nate, as we said.
We're going to have a forfeit here first. We're going to have,
it's like Kyle Dyke.
Kyle Dyke is going to get a forfeit at 70.
And then probably Caleb Thatcher at 182 will be receiving a forfeit. And then we'll get action going again with our 195-pounders.
And it looks like, Coach,
I think they're
that is Thatcher.
Yeah.
They must have bumped Thatcher up here.
And Thatcher was.
Yeah.
Thatcher gave.
Thatcher wrestled a nice match. Again, Thatcher, strong kid, but.
Right, and he gave Hottinger a pretty solid match.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So again, we've got Nate Morgan and Thatcher. And it looks like probably what's going to happen is I bet they bump up Sevy to wrestle 220 against Peyton Vest.
Yeah, Peyton Vest.
Clinton. So tie up here, both guys on the collar. Now they come off to the arms. Nate's got inside position, but Thatcher looking for the underhook, can't quite get it.
Yeah.
And now Nate tries to pummel in.
Yeah, if Nate can keep those elbows in, keep himself alive, and that's what it's all about at the heavier weights.
Nate takes a shot, attempted high crotch there, but he never really got in on it.
No, and
Thatcher blocks him
Nate's
off
gotta
into
get
a
off
front
his hip.
headlock. And Nate's in trouble. That front headlock is tight.
Yeah, it is, and he's.
And in fact, we've got a
4-point
potentially dangerous there.
Yeah.
And no takedown ruled there. I guess he wasn't a near fall criteria long enough.
Yeah.
Or are we going to call? No, I think we might have a call of a. This could be Could it be an illegal headlock?
That could be.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, without having the arm in there.
Yeah.
And that would be a great break for Nate here if that would be the case.
And it looks like that might be what the official's demonstrating to the coach right now.
Yeah. So here we go, and we are looking to return to action here at 1:21 of the first period. And
so we're going to have an illegal hold there, so it was an illegal headlock.
Right. And
so Morgan's going to get a penalty point. He's up 1-0. We're neutral. We're back on our feet.
So all that, and we've got 1 point, and we restart this whole thing. And Nate's got inside position again. And Thatcher is searching for what he can get. He's going to go back to that front headlock,
Yeah,
Chuck.
he really just powered Nate down. He's right out in front on the front headlock again. And now he's going for the cattle catcher, the cement mixer, and it looks like he's got it here.
Yeah, he's got the chin, and
he's tight again and again.
Yeah, and Nate, hard crossface by Thatcher.
Yeah, it really was.
And Nate's given us
Nate's struggling.
He is. He's given a game effort here to make it through this period, and
there's the fall. So unfortunately, Morgan goes down to the fall. 120 into the match. So 220. We're going to have again Peyton Vest and East Clinton. He's going to be wrestling. We believe Zach Sevy.
Yeah, we believe that. I think that would make sense as we see it, but yeah, I think that's what's going to happen here. Sevy and Peyton's looking for his second win of the year. And, like I say, Peyton worked really hard today. He was right on the weight. He needed to lose a few ounces. He got out there and got after it, and he made that 220, and he earned this spot.
That's right. And, you got to love that effort.
That's the thing about wrestling is sometimes when you have to factor in the weight classes and that, kids have to work a little extra harder to get to where they want to be.
That's right. So, on the whistle, both wrestlers circling. No action yet, just, again, feeling each other out. And now we're in
Peyton's got inside
tied
position.
Up ear to ear.
Got to keep that leg back. He's
again,
sprawled. He's sprawled.
Peyton sprawls hard.
He's
got
a
pressure
chance
on the head.
He could reach under, Chuck. He could get a butcher.
He's got to peel
I think
that.
Peyton's going to get 2 points.
He's got to peel that leg off, Coach.
He's got to kick that high leg over and scoot around, and I think he's got it.
And there it is. Yep, they call it. So,
nice job. Peyton with the 2. Still got to get around behind him, Chuck.
Yeah, he's not really in a very good position right now.
No, not at all. He's got to kick that leg through. Got to kick that leg through.
And there we go. Peterson out of Sevy.
Peterson.
And again, only because, like we talked about, Peyton was in a bad position there.
And the good thing about that was, not that we got reversed, but he was able to roll through it, and we didn't get back exposure.
Right, no backs. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Peyton's freeing.
Build the base, and I think he may be setting up a roll there.
Yep. Peyton got to get us to his base.
And Sevi pounding, trying to power in the halves.
Peyton's blocking the hand in an effort to get the half and scooting his hips,
There he goes, trying to create distance.
And
he's got to start building that base, though. He can't stay where he's at. And we've got stalling on Adena because, again, riding the hips. Like
and we've seen that a common theme tonight with Adena.
Yes, we have.
They get back on the hips, knees are on the mat, and if you're not doing anything, you are just going to get busted all night long.
Well, and I think that shows the difference in an experience like a program like Miami Trace compared to Adena. Miami Trace, those kids know what to do, exactly what next move. Whereas with Adena, you know, he's probably thinking, now what? What's the next step?
Sure.
You know, and because of that, he's not sure, and they're hanging out on the hip too long.
Yep. And if and he's just laying there again, Chuck. He's trying to make it a little effort to get a half in, but Peyton's fending that off really well.
Yeah, that's true. Although, you know, Peyton's got to be careful not to get stalling on the bottom here.
I agree.
He's starting to ball up just a little bit too much. He's got to work to get up too.
Yeah, with 5 seconds, actually time runs out in the period.
That's going to be the end of the period. That's right. So again, we're going to end 2-0 here at the first.
Yep.
And it's going to be Vest's choice. He's going to defer, right? We're going to go neutral.
Okay. And
so both wrestlers on their feet here to start the second period.
We're at a 2-2 situation, and let's see where this goes. Good competitive match to this point.
That's right. They start the same way they started the first, kind of circling. And
Peyton tried to get it.
Sevi forced him down into that front headlock.
Peyton kind of reached in for the single, but didn't go through with it.
Yeah,
he's got to stay off. There you go. He's got to stay off that hip.
Yep.
Got it. If he can get that arm through, Chuck, and get to it. Now, I can't get on that hip again.
Well, he's got to get to his base and either do a drag, slide by, or drag or something.
There we go. He's getting around. He's getting around.
Trying to turn that ankle. If he can get that leg.
There we go. If he can pull that in.
That's right.
Oh, he swims over it. I think he should be lost of control.
Yeah, that's what we're going to have. No reversal, but we are going to have a loss of control.
Yep.
So
good effort by Peyton there.
Should be 4-3 on the board right now.
Peyton was a little wobbly, but he kept on driving into the man.
Well, that's right, and he didn't quit moving.
Right, he got the man on his hip.
That made a difference, that's right.
And he put him in the situation that he was in a second earlier.
Exactly. So again,
now we
basically trying to catch each other leaning for the snap down.
Yeah.
And it looks like Peyton's got him leaning a little bit, but not quite enough.
He's got him rocking, but we got to finish it. Got to finish it.
You know, really that move, too, is a lot about feel. You want to force that guy away and then wait to feel him push back, and then you snap him down.
Peyton's got to push that head down hard.
That's right.
Or crossface.
Crossface and get him off his leg and spin and get
two. He can get around. Yeah,
he's off the leg, so he should get 2 here, and there it is.
And we've got what should be, I believe, a 5-2. They never gave Peyton his point for escape. But
it should be 5-4, Coach.
Or 5-4.
If he had that escape, he would have had to have been taken down too. So 5-4. Peyton going for the crunch cradle.
There.
See if he can walk him over here.
There it is.
Get back over and.
Oh no.
Yeah, there you go. You know, we talked earlier that that's not usually a move used in these heavier weight classes, and right there's an example why.
You're right.
Just a lot of body mass to try to hold together in a cradle like that.
Absolutely.
Just couldn't do it. So that's going to bring the period to an end here.
Good period.
Yeah, good work by both men. A lot of action there in that period.
And Peyton's, I think that extra conditioning he's doing to lose that weight's paying off for the conditioning in the match right here.
He must have a heck of a gym teacher.
Yeah.
So Peyton chooses to go neutral here. And again, not a bad decision given the fact that I think he's had all but one takedown on this match.
Yeah, I think so. He's had most of the time, even when Adena's shot the takedown, he's been able to reverse it into points.
That's right. Yeah, he sprawled and turned into his own takedown. So.
And
again, he's got to keep pushing the action, though.
Yep, he's got to push it.
And again,
he's got to sprawl that out.
There's a nice sprawl by Vest.
You get around, there's 2 more for Peyton.
And again, just another demonstration, though, of why you don't see a lot of double legs in these heavier weights.
Right.
You just don't want to get trapped under there like that.
Yeah.
And Peyton's caught him in that 2 or 3 times this match already.
Yeah, you got to be a pretty stout athlete to be able to go underneath all that mass and get out of it.
Exactly. Peyton's looking for a power half here.
Yeah. banging the back of the head. He's doing a good job.
See if he can jump sides here. Now we're going to have the same stalling call on the hip again, but this time red. So
yeah,
looks like Coach Stalen's telling him he wants to go neutral.
Yeah,
and not a bad decision given the fact that Peyton, again, like we talked about, Peyton has had the majority of takedowns in this match. So,
and we don't want to take the chance of another stalling at this point.
That's exactly right.
So here's the Peyton using some setups. Now it'll be interesting to see if Sevy tries to shoot again, because it's been very
I wonder too. That's right.
For him.
That's right. It looks like Peyton's still going for the snap down, but again, can't do that ear to ear. You got to have separation there.
Right. And a knee. There would be a real easy knee pick. He's had him folded up a couple times.
There we go. And Sevy gets in again, but
Peyton can get the weight on
Peyton
top.
Sprawls. See if he can finish.
Got to get that cross face. There you go. Get around, Peyton.
See, there's still no take there.
There we are, Chuck.
So now, see if he can finish it.
He's got to be ready. He's got to be ready.
Lets him go.
Yeah. Doesn't want to get sloppy here.
And again, that was really a defensive escape there. He just didn't want to get called for stalling.
Exactly. Because then he could have lost with an escape.
Right, but with the
Peyton
lead,
just
he can
needs
do that.
He's got to hang on here, Chuck.
Can't give up. Can't give one up
grab
here
the
at
ankle. Do what you got to do, and I think
doesn't
we're
have
getting
to score, but there we go. So
big match for Peyton Vest.
Nice win. Nice win for Peyton Vest. His first match at 220 of the year.
Peyton worked really hard this week, and just goes to show that hard work pays off, Chuck.
That's right. Congratulations to that young man. Nice match.
And Zach Sevy.
Okay, so that's going to bring up, again, Gabe Scott, who will get a forfeit.
Right, because we do not have Josh here.
And no heavyweight for East Clinton tonight.
And we've got Peyton Vest's dad, Jim, back here working the scoreboard, and he's got
pretty excited papa
ear-to-ear
right
smile there. So congratulations to Jim
Definitely.
and Peyton.
So we're going to finish here with some forfeits here. Again, Gabe Scott from Adena, followed by Josh Jones.
And
then
unless
Anderson Van Der
I guess
Lindsay,
there's nothing we can. Well,
we're going to end up with Peacher here, or
Peacher, and I don't know. Are we going to get another match?
I don't know. Do we have another match?
I didn't know if we'd be able to get.
I don't know. No one seems to be too sure.
They got Grigsby here.
Yeah, well, there it is. That's the end, folks.
Okay.
They're gonna shake him up, and that's the end of the match. So,
well, ladies and gentlemen, recapping it, the Astros had a little bit of a rough outing with Trace, but came back strong against Adena, and we'll be working down to the state meet next week. Wednesday night, the Astros will be wrestling in the new state dual meets.
That's right. Looking forward to that. East Clinton, again, like you say, getting their first opportunity to compete in that event. So hopefully they can make a good showing and start a new tradition for the Astros.
Maybe we can get we have our stat girl over here. We get her for a comment. Mason Lamb, a freshman here at East Clinton. Mason, why don't you come over here? She's shy. Well, she isn't shy most of the time in school, but Mason is, as I say, a freshman. Mason, tell us a little bit about your involvement here at the school. What do you do? What are you involved with?
Well, I'm involved with wrestling stats, tennis, softball, track, and just try to do it all. FCCLA. Schoolwork is the most important thing to me, though. So,
how's it been coming into your freshman year? Has it been a good experience transitioning from the junior high to the high school?
oh yeah, definitely. Actually, at first it was kind of hard learning to go in all my classes, and now it's just like I'm used to it. So.
How do you like spending your weekends at wrestling tournaments and that? Do you really enjoy? You must love it a little bit to be able to give up that much time.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Very good. Well, that's Mason Lamb, a freshman here at East Clinton, and Mason, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, again, another one of the great contributors to the East Clinton wrestling program. It takes all kinds. It takes stats and managers and everything. So we've got them here at East Clinton. So.
And this, we'll see if we can get Lee. Okay, we're going to get Coach Doug Stalen over here and have an opportunity to have a few comments from Coach Stalen in a post-game.
Great. And again, while we've got a minute, I want to, again, thank Charlie's Pizza for their sponsorship of the East Clinton channel and continue to provide these opportunities for our athletes and other people to other student athletes and other things to be able to be seen and heard out in the community, and it's a great thing for our community.
Sure is. This kind of sponsorship is shows the kids that the people care about them and that they want them recognized and they want the school recognized, and we thank Charlie's for doing that. And next Thursday night at Charlie's Place, we have at 7 o'clock the East Clinton Sports Talk Show, and please tune in and support our efforts to promote the school and our athletes. And it's our second broadcast, Chuck. I've had a great time doing it, and
me too.
It's fun. Gets the coaches when we're not involved in our direct sport, get out there, and kids love to see us and love to talk to us, and that's what it's all about, is helping the kids.
That's right.
And Chuck, why don't you talk a little bit about, we both teach at the school. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your tenure here at the school and what you do?
Sure. I am an intervention specialist here at East Clinton High School. This is my 10th year here. For those of you that don't know what that is, used to be called a special education teacher, so you're probably familiar with that term, but I've done that here at the high school here for 10 years. And I also coached football here for a few years, and as well as coaching wrestling here. So been a few years since I've done football, and this is my first year not doing wrestling, and really excited to be able to take some of my experiences over here on the radio. So.
Very good. Well, we're glad to have you on with us, Chuck. You've been a great addition. And right now we have Coach Doug Stalen. And Coach, I'm going to turn the mic over to you if you want to talk a little bit about tonight's match and what we've got coming up here in the near future.
All right, well, the first match against Trace, that was ugly for us. I don't know. Trace has got a tough team. I'm sure they're going to do pretty well this year in the state duels starting next week. They're just a tough group of wrestlers. They're big and they're in shape, and they put in the time all year round. We had two matches there right in the middle of the lineup with Noah Morgan and Block, who, they went out there and they fought hard for 6 minutes, and they didn't give up the pin, and they worked hard. So if I got to take a positive, those are my two positives from that match. And then in the last match there against Adena, it came down to Peyton Vest. I was watching the score, and I realized there was only 3 or 4 matches there, but I was looking at the score, and I knew, okay, it's going to be the bestest match right here. And Peyton pulled out an exciting win there.
That was an exciting match.
Peyton's been struggling this year, and I think he's been not feeling too good about himself. But I think tonight, that will definitely that might be his wake-up call and get the season going for him, hopefully.
And was that his first match at 220, Coach?
Yes, it was. Yeah,
that's what we thought.
Well, yeah, tonight was.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he's been wrestling heavyweight for us all year, and he's been right there on that 220 line. And he made weight today, and so we put him in at 220.
Sure, it's exciting for him to get to wrestle that weight for a change.
Yeah, he's getting tired of wrestling those big boys, so he'll take it. I asked him if he wanted to wrestle the heavyweight tonight from Adena, but he weighed in at 280.
Peyton decided not to wrestle 60 pounds up.
Yeah, so evidently it was a good call on Peyton's part there, because he got the W at 220 there. So.
Coach, can you mention briefly, tell us a little about the state duel tournament coming up? Has the opponent been set?
We are wrestling on Wednesday. I believe we're at Blanchester. I know we are wrestling Wellston.
Wellston. The Rockets of Wellston. Okay. Do you know anything about Wellston? I know they're from southeastern Ohio.
We got the number 8 seed. They got the number 9 seed. So we wrestle them first round. The winner moves on for the second round that night and wrestles Blanchester. And then the winner of that, I believe, wrestles a third match that night on the 22nd. So,
okay.
Could be
hopefully a long night for the Astros,
hopefully
right?
It'll be a long night. But we got to take one match at a time and get past Wellston first, and so we'll see how that one goes. But I know this weekend we got we're new tournament this year. We had a Deer Park Invitational got canceled for us earlier in the season because of snow, so we found a makeup tournament to replace those points. So we're going to Sycamore Invitational this Saturday, which that should be a tough tournament for us, but I think it'll be a good one to challenge us to get, that'll get us ready for sectionals. So.
And Coach, Sycamore being a bigger school, I imagine there'll be a lot of Division I and Division II wrestling teams there. Is that correct?
There's a lot of D2 teams there. And, you know, I looked at it. I was looking at the teams. We've seen a lot of those teams there. We just haven't seen them at one location. Like we saw several teams at Williamsburg and several teams at the North College Hill. If we would have went to Deer Park, we would have saw a couple of them there. I know Mount Healthy's there. We used to wrestle them in duels a few years ago. So I mean, we've seen a lot of these teams, just not at one location at one time. So, you know, other than Sycamore, I think that's probably one of the only teams that we haven't seen. So
okay,
should be a good tournament, tough tournament. Hopefully,
good luck this weekend.
We got a couple days to get ready for it and at least make a good showing. So,
Coach, how going into the SCOL tournament here in a couple weeks? What are your thoughts? Who you see as maybe being guys that have strong positions to place for you right now?
I could see. Well, we got several guys. You know, I think duels. I don't think are probably not going to be our thing because we're giving up some points. But going into the league tournament, you know, I can see we got Jones at 106. You know, I think he's getting tougher every week. Noah Morgan, he's a freshman. I think he's going to start to turn it on here. He hasn't gotten a little rusty. He hasn't gotten a lot of matches in here lately. So hopefully now we can get him in the lineup every week and he can make a big run here by the end of the season. Cameron Block, he just keeps getting better and better. So hopefully he's another one. I'm hoping that we can get Zach back here shortly. He's going to have a nice run that league and sectionals. You know, and everyone else, you know, I just kind of, if we can go out there and wrestle tough, and I don't know, if we can get guys placing at that tournament, I'll be happy. So I know last year we only had one placer, our first year in SCOL. So I'd say, you know, I'm hoping that this year we can at least have 4 or 5.
And Coach, I know we were the new kids on the block last year. Real quick, do you know anything at all about Chillicothe, the new team in the league this year?
They're tough. From what I've
have you seen them yet?
I have not seen them. I haven't really heard too much other than I'm pretty sure they got a full lineup and we got a pretty tough squad. But I don't know anything else about them now.
Great.
Very good. Yeah. Well, that's Coach Doug Stalen of the East Clinton Astros. And Coach, thanks for joining us. We'll be here for all the home duels and hopefully maybe a couple other things get in on the SCOL and follow the Astros as we move on to the sectionals and districts.
Sounds good. Thank you guys for coming out tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Well, for my partner Chuck Hale, this is Bill Hrabak. Oh, I'm sorry. We were going to jump off. We've got Adena's head coach. Hey, Coach, Bill Hrabak.
Heath Bennett, nice to meet you.
Hi, Heath. This is Chuck Hale.
Hi, Chuck. Nice to meet you.
You too.
And this is a new venture for us here at East Clinton with the GTVR. You know, great opportunity for us to get some exposure for wrestling.
Absolutely.
And, you know, people can tune in wherever they're at in the country and watch this. And we know that you're very similar to our program as far as just starting up. And why don't you talk a little bit about the growing pains that you guys have went through?
Well, like you said, we started out last year. It took a while. It took a lot of people to come and approach the board. And we started, our program starts kindergarten through 12th. Our high school, basically their support for us, transportation and facilities, and it's been very tough because we've had to raise our own money. Mm-hmm. And you know how that goes when you're starting out the first and second year, getting the mats, and we right now we're still borrowing mats. It's funny because we're borrowing the mats from Jack Anders, the Miami Trace coach, and they have an extra set.
Small world, isn't it?
Small world. So and Jack and I are pretty, you know, halfway close. So we kind of like work together and trying to get us get our feet down and so forth. So that's the growing pains. We've had some success. Last year I had 2 district qualifiers. My freshman was a 106 district qualifier, placed 3rd in the sectionals, and then my 170 who bumped to 160 this year, he was an alternate. So it was, and then I had a junior high 7th grader qualify for state, and a couple other Pee Wee kids that have qualified. So
Now, do you have more kids out in the program this year than you did last year, or has it grown with the varsity?
The varsity team has grown. Okay. It has grown a little bit. It's grown several numbers. Right. You know, not drastically like I want to see it. I've got some kids that are hurt right now. Okay. Collarbone. Got a kid still rehabbing his knee. He's a freshman. He's going to be a good wrestler. And then I have another, my 220. He's nursing a pectoral. And so it's kind of the growing pains is watching kids. And then my 32 had some, skin issues tonight, so he couldn't wrestle. So the growing pains go with it, and you definitely would know those things.
We've seen it here with our program. Now, are you guys are you in the state duels next week, or do you have enough kids to participate in that?
We do not have enough for the state duels. Okay. Yeah.
And I'm assuming you're probably are you in our sectionals or districts, or where will we see you next?
Well, I don't know if you'll see us next, unless.
What would be state next week?
We are we go all the way to Alexander. So we would actually probably see you in the districts, because you would come to Heath, right? Heath High. Okay, so we wouldn't see you guys until states.
Okay. Well, we wish you the best of luck on the way through there, and keep on growing that program, and we look forward to a long rivalry with you guys.
Absolutely, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. That's awesome.
Thanks,
okay,
Coach.
Again, that's Coach Heath Bennett of the Adena Warriors, and again, we wish them a lot of luck in keeping that program going. Like Coach said, we know exactly what those growing pains are like and what they're going through. So, again, here from East Clinton, we'd like to thank you guys for your listening and viewership, and I'm going to hand it over to Bill. Bill, any comments?
Like I say, Chuck, it's been a great experience for us to get out here and do this. We see these kids during the day in a different kind of format when we're in the classroom, and it's nice to let your guard down a little bit and have a little bit of fun with them when you're in an athletic event. And they're a great group of kids, and they work hard, and it's exciting to see any success they can have on the mats.
Very true.
So I've got my two colleagues over here, Lee and Rick, and we're going to turn that over to them. And for Chuck Hale, this is Bill Hrabak, and Astros keep on reaching for the stars. Good night, everybody.
Eat it, Charlie's.
All right, Lee, I guess that does it. That's about it. Great wrap, right?
We will be back here Saturday night for basketball.
Okay. You mean you and I are going to be doing
Well,
some
no,
basketball?
but we'll be out here, and I think Jeremy and somebody else will, and probably Matt Baker will be doing play-by-play.
And this will be boys basketball,
This will be boys basketball versus Blanchester. And,
I've heard of them.
Yeah, it should be some affair, some game out here after the exciting game we had last night. Got a lot to look forward to.
Well, both the games, the end of the junior varsity game as well as the All right. Well,
I want to thank our sponsor again one more time, Charlie's Place over in Sabina, 66 North Howard Street. That'll be the new home of the East Clinton Sports Show, coming next Thursday, not tomorrow night, but the following Thursday. And every Thursday, hopefully from there on, we'll talk East Clinton sports. Nothing about anybody else but East Clinton at 7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock.
7 to 8. And come on out, join us, have some great pizza and some great food.
All right. I guess that'll do it for our broadcast. Thanks for watching.
Okay, guys.